Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. Y'all already know what it is. We back with another one of them things tonight. We got a good one, man. Listen, there's more Lonzo. There's so much Lonzo news that's been circulating through the media. It's just running rampant right now. You know, more and more is coming out all throughout the ranks. Obviously, we heard the information and news today. Stephen A. Smith. We all know what's going on. We're going to break everything down. Salute to everybody tonight. Hope everybody having a good night tonight. Everybody chilling, man. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their day, you know, to rock with flights. Salute to my guy, DJ Gemini in the building. Shout out my man, Lonzo Ball. You know, y'all could be many places, but y'all choosing to rock with Flight Sports, and definitely, man, it means a whole lot. Lonzo Ball is definitely one of my favorite things to discuss here at Flight Sports. And so Lonzo news has just been, you know, radio silent. You know, give major credit, you know, to the, you know, his whole team, because it is, like I said, they've pretty much protected all information involving him as he's been able to rehab. Obviously, there's there's no pressure on him, obviously, because he'll tell you his basketball is just a game. But I think the media, fans, they create pressure amongst fan bases. You know, it's crazy. You know, we're going to get into a lot. Today, Stephen A. Smith had his 2 cents, you know, on what's been going on with Lonzo Ball. And here we are. He said a lot, and he pretty much is going to end up walking back his statements. I'm telling you. Mark my words, it won't be a matter of time. All these guys, whether it's him, Kendrick Perkins, you know, this guy, that guy, they all end up, you know, recanting their statements and letting everybody know, like, oh, no, man, I listen, Lonzo, I made a mistake. How many times we gonna hear they made a mistake? You know, I think that this stuff is getting old. You know, I think true homage must be paid, you know, involving Lonzo Ball. We got to get out of all this garbage, you know, all the disrespect in order to pump up their guys, you know. And one guy who I want to note tonight is my man, Deaaron Fox. Now, Deaaron Fox is a great young player. You know, here at Flight Sports, we've even covered some Deaaron Fox Kings games as well, definitely at the start of last season that just ended. You know, I thought that the Sacramento Kings was actually going to be one of the better teams in the NBA. It was kind of shocking to everybody to see where they ended. I'm going to keep it 100. I thought they would just squeak into the playoffs. I didn't know that they was going to be one of the heavyweights. You know, the Sacramento Kings finished, you know, pretty good, you know, and to see Fox in the postseason, to see a lot of these guys who I like, you know, in the postseason, especially what's going on with obviously Lonzo just hurt, because I know that Lonzo Ball should have been able to play in the postseason just like his peers, you know, and it's just unfortunate, you know, it's just that he never got that opportunity. I believe that if Lonzo didn't get hurt Lonzo obviously would have made the postseason, not this year that passed, but the following. When the Bulls lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, Lonzo would have actually got to the postseason. He would have been in the postseason twice, by the time Fox, got in on his first, and that's not a knock to him. Lonzo did contribute. Obviously, the news and things is going to be Lonzo never made the playoffs, just write him off, this, that, and the third. But Lonzo Ball was supposed to be in the postseason. You got to remember the trajectory the Bulls was in. He would have been in the playoffs. But it's just, like I said, Lonzo has had a series of bad stuff go on in his last couple of years, man. He's hit the true injury bug, and it's been truly bad for him, but now, today, through numerous recoveries, numerous operations, that took place, an unprecedented surgery, and now Lonzo Ball seems to he's letting everybody know that he's ready to go. He's ready to produce for whoever, I would assume is the Chicago Bulls. But Lonzo Ball is very confident. He's not speaking like a guy who his career is is in the balance. He's not feeling so something's going on that's got him moving and grooving and speaking a little bit differently. That's why, and this is why I told the people not too long ago, I expect Lonzo Ball to be healthy. Wouldn't say healthy, but I expect him to be able to really hit the floor, possibly whether it's 6 to 8 months, in terms of really like doing his thing, and I think from there it's just all about just repetition, enhancing, still they canceling him out, because I think it's a situation where Lonzo might be able to go towards the end of next season, that's coming up. I really believe that, but I just think that the Bulls, which is smart, why would you, all of this to bring him out there, unless it's a situation where the Bulls is about to compete for a championship, and that's a whole nother situation. But I don't think it's worth just throwing them out there just for just a series of games. But I want to get into Stephen A. Smith. Like I said, if you didn't watch First Take today, and shout out Stephen A. And Lonzo definitely said he likes Stephen A. Smith. That's Queens representative. I watched First Take like almost like it was religion, coming up, before it just blew up all over the internet on YouTube. I was DVRing it, I was watching it, just crazy, So Stephen A., I think everybody, them damn that came up listening to Stephen A. or spent a significant period of time listening to Mr. Stephen A. Smith. Now today he says some things that has gotten him in trouble in the past with other athletes, but today he was barking up the wrong tree. Obviously he couldn't wait to discuss this. I think this is not the last that we're going to see of this either. Listen, Stephen A. is hot. He's on First Take running his gums. He got his other show, the Stephen A. Smith show. He's flapping his gums on there, so who knows what the hell he's about to say next. You understand? Is he about, he gonna answer this. Lonzo Ball is an international superstar. Did he just see the reaction? Did you realize who the hell he was just talking about? And we got to remember, before we continue, before Stephen A. was talking out of his ass, he just got in trouble with my man out there in Buffalo.
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. Salute to my man, All Access. We're going to get into it. We're just getting started. I'm moving too fast. It's Flight Sports TV, All Access. What's the deal? It's Flight Sports. We live.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ, the hottest in these streets. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. And big ups to everybody pulling up the Flight Sports TV. Yes, Flight. Yeah, he's been bumping his gums lately, and he's being the controversial pundit that he is, and a deep blowhard on TV as well as YouTube. So Stephen A. Smith, he's coming in hard. He's just trying to take over the airwaves. He saw a ticket in Lonzo Ball, and he thought he can bully that situation. And then Lonzo Ball popped back at him, and now Stephen A. Smith is looking like a dummy.
It's crazy. You're right about that, man. Obviously, we knew people was gonna say what they was gonna say. We had another Lonzo sighting today, Dex. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know. Is it Christmas? I don't know what's happening, Dex. But it seems like Lonzo Ball, he's making his presence felt around the NBA landscape. Dex, what the hell is going on?
Just people are really have a rapacious appetite for Lonzo Ball. He's just one of those figures that's somewhat mysterious, somewhat uh, else I could say. He's somewhat enigmatic, and you don't get much from Lonzo. You know what I'm saying? He just seems like a rubber board. Whatever you speak towards him, it just bounces back to you without any type of repercussion. But this version of Lonzo, I told you, Flight, yesterday. I don't know if you was listening, but you was out doing your thing. But I said this Lonzo has a sense of super hubris, and it's something about his confidence that he is taking strides in being very vocal. It's intentional. It's by design. And listen, Flight, he might have a one-on-one with Stephen A. Smith.
Oh
If
man,
if Paul George don't get him first. If
man,
Paul George don't get him first. You're
something
hearing it
going
from
down.
me. You're hearing it from Flight Sports TV. There might be in the makings of Lonzo having a one-on-one with Stephen A. Smith, hashing out old beef, modern beef, current beef, and Stephen A. Smith apologizing to Lonzo during his Bull tenure, and Lonzo telling him to expect more when he gets back.
Yeah. Listen, Lonzo Ball is going to be right when he gets back. Did you listen? We obviously before we get into what Lonzo did, what Stephen A came out today and just like I said, he jumped the gun. He came out and said that he has sources. This one I want to tackle tonight as well. You know the sources of some of these
Yes,
fools. You know, at
yes,
least
yes.
and that goes from the big time dudes to the average Joes around here running their
Stephen
goddamn mouths, flapping their
listen,
gums on the ball
Stephen A.
family.
Smith.
Like, listen, go ahead, Dex.
Stephen A. Smith is over the hill when it comes to that. The only source he got is maybe the cats over at the New York Knicks. That's probably his only
That's
bedouin of sources. Outside of the New York Knicks, I don't know if anybody is really giving Stephen A. Smith the inside scoop. Now, when you talk about sources, Stephen A. Smith, I got sources. You know my homeboy Jackie Long. Jackie Long, he's one of the young G's from Pasadena, California. He's on the Paul George podcast. There, he is trying to get Lonzo on that show so bad, it's ridiculous. He's trying to pull his California card. He's trying to pull everything to get Zoe on the show. But right now, Zoe is celebrating with LaMelo with his birthday and things of that nature. It's a family affair. They got Big O involved. They got Jello involved. They got some of their high school friends involved with this birthday celebration. But nevertheless, like I said, it's a race to get Lonzo to be vocal on a top end podcast. Now, I'm not sure if Cameron and Mace
Oh,
is seeking Lonzo because Mace is a big fan of Lonzo. I can tell
talk
you
that
that
back.
Mace is a big fan of Lonzo. So, the hip hop thing, he might try to pull his hip hop card, but
Uh,
they trying to get Lonzo out there to speak because Lonzo has never been an outspoken person. He was only the spokesperson for the Lakers when he was the rookie because he was the big name for the Lakers. And once LeBron came in, then all that shifted. That's the only time Lonzo stayed in front of the camera, stayed on the mic, explaining night in and night out Lakers ups and downs, ebbs and flows through that 2017 season. But be on the watch out for more Lonzo visibility and more Lonzo kicking out some real good stuff about his tenure in the NBA.
Yes, absolutely, Dex. Listen, his tenure in the NBA was moving in an upwards trajectory. I want to tackle a little bit of De'Aaron Fox, but before we do that, I want to get into Lonzo Ball. You know, obviously Stephen A. He says some dumb stuff. Now Lonzo he fires back in 1 second. You know, obviously all of this happened all in a series of events quickly. And then Lonzo Ball is basically demonstrating he didn't have to do that. Why did Lonzo Ball do that in the first place? I mean,
Well,
he didn't have to do that.
listen, you already know how it goes with Clutch Sports and Stephen A. Smith. You know, they have a rocky relationship, especially their front man, LeBron James, how Stephen A. Smith has been critical throughout LeBron James' journey in the NBA. And whatever greatness LeBron James have shown, Stephen A. Smith has shown, have spread some type of shade on LeBron James' personal achievements and things of that nature. When it came to LeBron James and all of his accolades and adulation, Stephen A. Smith always had a but. He gives him credit, but then there's that but, that contrast. And then he goes on to say why there's the but. So Stephen A. Smith thinking that he's equivocating LeBron James' entire career, but which he's not.
It's not.
Only Stephen A. Smith is trying to hold the majestic spear of influence of Michael Jeffrey Jordan in the NBA and basketball in general. That's what Stephen A. Smith wants. He wants to keep that in a bubble. And every time LeBron James acquire some new level of personal achievement and goals, it brings him closer to a legitimate GOAT debate.
It go
Right?
hand in hand.
So, yeah, so the contrast for Stephen A. Smith on the argument of LeBron James, even though Stephen A. Smith is closed-minded and very myopic, and Michael Jordan being the GOAT, case closed for Stephen A. Smith, but there's still an ongoing testimony for LeBron James to etch closer and closer, whereas Kobe Bryant, his testament is done, right? It's a period to his testament because there's no more achieving for Kobe Bryant. What he achieved is what he achieved. But
Right.
LeBron is still bouncing the basketball. So Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless is one of the hardcore, obvious Michael Jordan fans, right? And LeBron James creeping to threaten that throne. So that's why Clutch Sport and Stephen A. Smith have continuous beef. So Lonzo being a client of Clutch Sports, right? And Lonzo is the young lion roaring now because LeBron is coming to the end of his career. So now Lonzo is that young lion. So a lot of things that Stephen A. Smith have said about Lonzo prior to him being a Clutch Sports member, Lonzo let that be water under the bridge and let that be part of the past. But there go the but. On contrary, since Lonzo is a current Clutch Sports client, he got to ride with the game. He got to ride with the game and the game of Clutch Sports. So Stephen A. Smith come out against Lonzo as a Clutch Sports client, and Lonzo spoke out. There were repercussions speaking out against Lonzo with misinformation or disinformation or downright non-factual information. And so he came out instantly, Flight, And then he demonstrated. Not only did he speak it, he demonstrated. He gave us a mad demo about Stephen A. Smith and his capping ability by sitting in the chair, raising up on one leg, sitting in the chair, raising up on one leg multiple times, showing the strength in that knee. Some of us can't do that without a surgery. Let's keep it 100. Some of us can't do that routine that Lonzo did without a surgery, without grabbing onto something. So that also bear witness to us here at Flight Sports TV when we said Lonzo was ahead of schedule. Remember, we said that. We said that before Lonzo even came on the Trae Young. We said he was ahead of schedule. He got off those crutches and he's walking with strength in his leg and he's getting better and stronger every day. That's what we reported on Flight Sports TV. Now you see Lonzo demonstrating that. It bears witness that our sources are in the know. Whereas Stephen A. Smith's sources, as big as he is, as magnanimous as he is, as gigantular as he is in sports talk, his sources failed him. Like, his sources straight out failed him, if he even have sources relating to that matter.
No,
It failed him. And it made him look like a fool. And Lonzo just poo-pooed all over it. And straight up told him, stop it, man. I kind of like you, man. What's up with this? I'm coming back. The last time Lonzo warned us about him coming back to something was in the bubble when he laid an egg. And he warned everybody, mark my stats down next season. And look what happened. That next season, he played 65 games, I believe. And it was 65 or 55, one of the two. I think it was 65. And he ended up garnering a contract following that season to the Chicago Bulls, getting north of 20 per. When everybody was poo-pooing on him based on his performance in that bubble. So he gave us a warning then. He gave us a warning during that next season when he played against Golden State and he laid another dud, scoring like 9 points at Golden State. And Zion Williamson said, Zoe, what's up, man? We know you better than this. And then you know what? Zoe promised Zion, next game, it's on. And what did we do? 7 threes, 33 points, hit game winner off of one leg fadeaway, looking like a miniature Dirk Nowitzki. Yeah. Guess what, Flight?
What's that?
There's more. There's more. Lonzo started the NBA season against the Los Angeles Clippers in his rookie season. He laid a dud. Patrick Beverly pushed him down, and Lonzo didn't respond appropriately according to LA Code. And he promised his team the next game, I'm going to do better next game. Watch. What did he do next game? He played against Phoenix Suns and scored 29 points and put 29 apples on Devin Booker's head. So when Lonzo warns us, when Lonzo give us that warning about counting him out, rest and hold, when he's available to come back to redeem himself, he always make good on his promise, Flight.
Yeah, man. Lonzo Ball gonna be back in no time. Shout out Purple Baby in the building. You see what's going on, Lonzo Ball. He's spoken. He's gonna be speaking a lot more. I'm telling you. There's something that's telling me we about to listen. Lonzo about to up the activity. You know, he's been quiet for a while, but now he's ready to talk. Purple Baby, what's your thoughts on what's going on with Lonzo Ball? Shout out my man Unstoppable in the chat. I see you. Shout out Dre, Rap Guys, Slim, everybody, man. Peace and love to everybody. What's good? Purple Baby, what up?
Hello.
What's up? How you doing?
Fine.
What's your thoughts on this news that's breaking with
I
Lonzo
think
Ball?
I think it says more about Stephen A. That
Uh,
ever since this Allen Iverson stuff and this LeBron stuff, when he went off, I think it was almost like 10 years ago. I forgot exactly what it was about. Even with the Kevin Durant situation with his mother, I just look at Steve. I've always looked at Stephen A. differently because what he has to understand is you can be friends with these athletes, but you don't clearly sit up there and lie. And then when you get caught in a lie, it's I got the text messages, I got sources, and I got this, and I can prove this. But you were lying to begin with when you haven't spoken to these guys, their trainers, sometimes not even the teams. Like I thought he would be tired of, doing stuff like this. Like he just looks ridiculous at this point. And it's like everything you worked hard for, you messing up.
you good?
Yeah, for all these years in journalism, you just messing it up because I don't understand why you would even come out and say something like this. That's retarded. You would have thought he was tired of getting put on his back. Hi.
Listen, Lonzo Ball, I'm with you. Stephen A. Smith, this won't be the first time, he gonna have to walk back some
Yeah,
steps.
because I know he didn't got into it with Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant
He
more
just
than
got into it with Stephon Diggs.
yeah, like he just like if you can't have no personal contacts and stuff like with these people's families or even themselves, just let it go and just try to do your job. He acting like I guess he feels if he don't get the inside scoop on these guys that ESPN might not see no value in it, not value in him anymore. So he goes to the extreme. I shake my head because he stay lying. Like I just it's not surprising, with
No, it's
Lon.
not. I don't know who the hell he talking about, who his sources was. I can't wait till
But
I know I know he not. I think he just made that shit up.
that's what I'm saying though. Like like it's just like you tried and I don't understand the purpose behind it. You tried and failed with these other guys. Why would you come and do that? Like
I have no idea. I don't know what's wrong with him. I have no idea what made him even want to say something so stupid like that. But I mean it is what it is. People are gonna find anything Lonzo Ball said and find some way to spin it in some negative manner. But it is what it is. Just like today, he brought up De'Aaron Fox. He said he is no De'Aaron Fox. He is no, what the hell is De'Aaron Fox? And I'm not here to disrespect him, but I'm just saying. I mean, is he a top 5 point guard in the NBA? Hell no. I'm just here to tell you right now. I need to see another season of Mr. De'Aaron Fox. I believe that the Sacramento Kings snuck up on a lot of people. I think this year a lot of the Western Conference teams are going to be playing for keeps. And a lot of people who we're going to figure out who was it luck or they're going to be around for a long time. I could guarantee you, I doubt they're going to be in the third seed. But I'm like I said, what number one is we have to get out of a situation where we want to elevate a guy, we want to, speak highly of somebody, but we got to disrespect the next guy, and it seems like Stephen A. Smith, and there's many others, but Stephen A. Smith obviously is an example because he said it today. He's trying to elevate De'Aaron Fox, but in the way of elevating him, he's disrespecting Lonzo in the same manner. What's good with that?
I mean, that's hard for the course, unfortunately, because we starting to see a wave where some guys are not popular for what they do on the court. It's the more so what they do after, not after, what they do when they're not on the court. So there's that.
We got my man DJ Gemini. We got a guy named Tony in here, a new person. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Bro, I had to step away for a quick sec. What's up, Purple? What's up, panel? What's up, chat?
Hello.
I have to start with Dex comment first before I get started. Dex, you really think that Stephen E is going to apologize?
Nope.
Are you serious, Dex? Dex, are you high right now? Do, do,
And
do, do,
listen,
do I have
we
to send you for a UA test? Do
listen.
I have to
We
send you for a UA?
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
listen.
All
He
out
have
of time.
apologized before. He's not. Stephen A. is never above apology. You follow what I'm saying? But Stephen A. just want controversy. Now,
Yeah.
if it takes apology to get him with a one-on-one on Lonzo after his father being banned on ESPN, he'd take it to his YouTube to get this one-on-one with Zoe right now. You follow what I'm saying? Because Zoe is a trending topic. Stephen A. Smith is a blowhard and he's all about shock jockey. You follow what I'm saying? And like I said, he's not above apology. I have seen him, I have heard him apologize. So it's a very much possibility that he could and maybe should apologize.
But he's done worse to other guys. Like I mean, we've seen Kevin Durant's brother go off on him more than once, and his, so
So he got into it with a couple of people. He just said something stupid. I don't mean to cut you off, Purple.
right.
He just said something crazy with Stephon Diggs. You know,
Right,
he
but
said
hold on,
he
Flight.
was talking about his sources.
But Flight, hold on 1 second. Yeah, Stephon Diggs got at him too. Listen, who was the worst person that Stephen A. Smith ever tried to drown out?
I would say Allen
Oh,
Iverson.
Kwame.
That's
Kwame.
What? Yeah, it's Kwame.
Yeah, that was
Kwame
easy.
Brown by far. You follow what I'm saying? And did he
And it
or
took how
did he
many
not
years for that
apologize?
apology? And
But
it took
did he
how
do
many
it though?
years? How many
Did he do it?
years? How
Gemini,
many years?
Gemini. Did he do it? Yes or no?
Yes, after 20
Did
some
he
years.
apologize to Allen Iverson? Yes or no?
Only when he knew Iverson was up
Come
for
on,
the
Gemini. Don't stretch
no,
it. This is
no,
yes or
no.
no answer.
No, I'm giving
Kwame
you the
Brown and
definition
Allen
and the
Iverson
answer.
were
No,
true.
hold on, Dex. No, hold on, Dex. That man only gave AI his respect when he knew that man qualified for the Hall of Fame ballot. Before then, there was no apology. He was still talking greasy, like AI was an average point guard. So did he apologize? Yes, after years, just like with Kwame Brown, after years. So you mean you can get back with your? It's the same situation
Did
of
he apologize to
if
Paul
you
George?
get into it with your wife and y'all get divorced, but you apologize 20 years later after your kids are grown. It
Okay.
doesn't matter then.
But
The
the
apology
thing of
doesn't
it is
even
that
matter then.
But the thing of it, Gemini, is that I said he's not above apologizing. Okay, if you want to use AI and Kwame Brown as too far distant apology that doesn't have any kind of
Equate to
impact,
anything. It doesn't equate
right?
to
Does not
anything,
have
is
any
what
kind
I'm
of
getting at.
impact on this merit. That's on you. Apology is apology. It's never too late. But listen, what about Paul George? What about Jackie Long? He apologized to them individuals in the moment.
Paul George, he did on time. I'll give you that one. Paul George, he did on time.
So that's my point. If he would do it, he's not above it. So don't think
But
that
I
he would
don't.
never.
The,
The,
the, the other ones that you used though, man, the time frame was gone, dog.
Well,
Like
neither one
he
of them are
he
in the
was.
league, right? So okay, neither one of them in the league anyway. But he did Paul George, and so that shows right there. There could be a turning factor with Stephen A. Smith pride.
but
I
my problem is I didn't
mhm.
see time and time again. Oh, you need to talk to your sources. I got it from your sources. It's not genuine to me. You're not gonna fire back with fire and make it seem like you talking to trainers and stuff like that.
Well,
It's
you
like,
know what? Somebody
man,
did me like that. I mean, I'm not equating myself to Stephen A. Smith, but I got done like that one time on DKM's live. Somebody tried to make it seem like I didn't have any sources. I mean, no panic always tell me you don't know nobody on Flight Street. So there's people that will challenge you until you show and prove that that is not the case. And some people will not even acknowledge because they won't come back and say, you know what, Dex, I'm sorry, man. I didn't realize that, you know what I'm saying, you can pull strings behind the scenes or you can break news with players that I love. And I'm speaking of no panic. When I broke the news of Kyrie Irving and the Lakers connection, where everybody threw rotten tomatoes and peeled onions at me. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
mean,
you
I
have that.
dig it, but you, bruh, I don't know, cause Stephen A. been like haterade ain't
Oh,
even
no doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
like
He's a
that,
hater.
that'll be minimizing like with him.
I mean,
I
you know, a lot. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Stephen A. Smith is a hater. You get that sometimes from not all, but a stack of New Yorkers, because a lot of New Yorkers feel that New York is the ultimate place on earth. And the reason why they feel that way, because there's a lot of uh, what's the word for it? There's a lot of non-foundational Black Americans come through the portal of New York, Ellis Island, and etc. You follow what I'm saying? Give me your tired, give me your wretched. So they come in and they be brainwashed that New York is just this ultimate, this pearl of the world, and that is not the case. But they believe that. You follow what I'm saying? And then they carry that confidence all over. You get this in hip hop a lot. Now,
mean, the
not so much.
bodegas are cool, but I
Now, not
mean,
so much because hip hop is global now. You follow what I'm saying? And New York hip hop kind of fell off the map. It fell off kind of hard. So now hip hop is just all everywhere. You never know who the next star is going to be or who's going to represent hip hop in the next 2 or 3 years. You follow what I'm saying? What region will represent? You know what I'm saying? So when they had it, when they had the hip hop, and this is related to Stephen A. because Stephen A. is hip hop. He come out of that era. When they had the hip hop, they had the Mecca because they had their hands on it first. They introduced it to the world via Jamaicans, right? And when
right?
they had it and was promoting it, everybody was on New York's jock.
Yeah, but
Everybody was on New York
I
jock,
think that
and
man
so
would
New
have
York
hated
felt
on Curtis Blow. I hate to say,
no. Curtis
I
Blow, New
think he
York,
would. No, I said I think personally he would have even hated on Curtis Blow.
and that's the mindset of Stephen A. Smith. He's New York, and you follow what I'm saying? This is what Stephen A. Smith rocks. And if you can't see behind that thin veil, then I don't know what to tell you. It's New York and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? This is how Stephen A. Smith um, practice his daily life when it comes to sports and everything else. And that's why he always refrained to this. I'm New York. I'm New York first. If you ever listen to him, he says that every now and then. When somebody gets under his skin, he says that. So what he's basically reiterating is that it's New York versus you, and I'm from New York. You feel
Yeah,
me?
and I dig it. I dig it. I just don't like with me when it comes to him, especially because even with the Bradford situation, he hopped on Kwame Brown 20 times harder than he even hopped on any situation with Bradford.
Oh, you want to go there?
Well,
Like
That's where
20
you want to go.
times
I was
harder.
trying to keep it from going there.
No, no, but I'm not just talking about Kwame Brown's situation though. I'm talking about any Afro athlete that has any problem within the league. He hops on it 20 times more even than the Roethlisberger situation. I mean, I can keep bringing situations. I
But
mean,
but if you
we're
but
doing
when you go back,
basketball. We're
but
doing
listen,
basketball,
but
so I'm
listen
trying to
to me
keep
though.
it to
Listen to me
basketball.
With the New York thing.
Okay.
I'm keeping it geographical on purpose because you had a lot of New York basketball players that
Uh-huh.
came in with hype and faltered. And Stephen A. Smith do not bring those names up
At all.
at
At
all.
all.
Even Felipe Lopez. If he want to talk bad about somebody, he could talk bad about Felipe Lopez.
Right.
And he
Does
won't
he?
even bring that name. No, according to Stephen A. Smith, if you listen to him, he never even heard of Felipe Lopez.
Exactly.
And he's from Queens. You understand what I'm saying? This is why I bring the New York thing up. Now, the other dynamic that you're initiating, the colorism aspect, I we already know where he stand on that because he always says ESPN, my boss, my bosses. So we already know where he stand on that basically. But I was just speaking about the geographical thing, how Stephen A. Smith will pick on other people outside of that region that he can Lamar Odom,
That's actually
Stephon
crazy.
Marbury. I'm just saying, I'm just being honest with you.
He's my boss. My boss.
Nah, I mean, but that is how he rocks. Like
No,
it
no,
don't
that's what he
just
do say
be
it.
the producers in his ear. A lot of that is like what Dex is pointing out is literally how he feels. So that I
His
mean, like
bosses.
I mean, at one time we was talking about having culture court on him and taking his black card. To be honest,
His
we really
bosses at
was.
ESPN.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, he harkens on that.
once
He
he
doubled
signed
down.
that $8 million contract, yeah. Once
Is
he
it eight or
signed that eight
'Cause
10? I
million,
think it's 10 or 11
may
or
I
something like that.
ask y'all a
no,
question about
no,
something?
it was eight at the time.
Oh, okay.
The first big one that he had was eight.
May I
He'll
ask y'all
risk it all
something?
behind his bosses.
So Stephen A. Smith, he has his targets. That's basically what I'm saying. He has his targets. And he put a blanket over everything else in his backyard. The meta world pieces, all he put a lot of blanket on those aspects
Cause,
of players that's,
May I ask y'all something though
cause he even
about?
went up
yes.
on Skip to my loop. I'm sorry, Purple. Go ahead.
No, it was about Skip. Now, because I hear a lot of bad stuff about Skip too. Was Stephen now that we look at it now, was Stephen A to y'all worse than Skip was, or was Skip just all over just bad? Because I heard Skip was quite harsh on a lot of people. When he
Skip
was
was a
like
LeBron
greatest
hater.
back in the day.
He
Skip
built his
has been an
career off
equal
LeBron.
opportunity. No, Skip has been an equal opportunist across the board, but primarily he hates LeBron. He can't
Yeah.
stand what LeBron brings to the game of basketball.
He loves
He,
Tebow, but hate LeBron.
yeah, like he loves ball hawkish type players, and like that's his like whole stilo. But when it comes to equal opportunists, I will say that Skip Bayless has been an equal opportunist across the board of going off on people and whatnot.
Um,
I agree. Because you know how he go off on Jim Flacco. You know how he go off
Yeah,
on what's the quarterback used to play with Denver?
Tebow.
No, not
He
Tebow.
could
He loved Tebow. The other guy.
no, he couldn't stand Tebow at one time. No. He
No,
couldn't
no, no,
stand
no,
Tebow
not
at one
Skip.
time.
No, no, not Skip.
Shoo.
Skip been loving Tebow ever since college. You better go check his resume. But what's the guy that used to play with Denver? Oh, the quarterback.
Talking about Airway.
No, heck no. He's always a god to Skip.
yeah, I know Peyton played before
No,
that.
not
I
Peyton.
can't
Not
remember
Peyton.
who played
You know what I'm
played
talking
before.
about, right?
Was it Carson Palmer or something?
No, not
No, it
Carson. He
wasn't
was
Carson.
Cincinnati. Come
Oh
on,
my
somebody
God,
help me. Who's the
I
quarterback
can't
for
think of his
Denver?
name. Slim,
And
help us.
and
I think
Skip
Slim
was
is the
all
Denver.
over this guy. I mean, didn't give him a break.
Oh, I can't think of his name because the record he made sure he beat the Chiefs. I remember that. I know what quarterback you
Man,
talking.
I can't think of this dude's name. It's right on my
I don't
tongue. That's
follow that one.
crazy.
Not
But this
No,
dude, you would know
Jake.
this
No, it's
quarterback
not
though.
Jake. Fuck, because he had
Oh,
a brother in the NFL,
he
didn't he,
didn't
Dex?
like Jake either though. He just called Jake the Fake. You talking about Jake the Snake Plumber?
Oh my God, his name is on the tip of my tongue too. I know who you
Was
talking
it
about.
Jake Plummer? No, Jake Plummer didn't play with Denver, did he?
Because
He played
I
with
we
Arizona. I know he played
Palmer
with
yeah.
brother
Arizona.
and the other, because he had a
I,
brother in the NFL. I think he played the same position.
Not Carson Palmer. Yeah, Carson Palmer had
Yeah,
a
I know
brother.
it was Carson
Carson
Palmer
Palmer and
brother.
Chris Palmer, something like that. But no, is it Jake? Was it Jake Plummer? I think it might have been Jake Plummer. Yeah, Jake Plummer got traded to Denver.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake. Yeah, I think that's what it was. He used to call him Jake the Fake. And man, he used to rip Jake Plummer. And he used to rip Jim Flacco. Oh man. But he loves some Brady. You know what I'm saying? And he ripped what you said, Jim and I Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But he
yeah.
loves some Tom Brady. He loves some John Elway. You know, he loved them, the Dan Marinos of the world, those quarterbacks. But the Jake Plumbers
And
and the
he was back and
Chad
forth with
Pendleton.
Tony Romo. I remember that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Skip, you right. You
He,
right,
he, he,
Gemini.
he, he,
Skip
he
will
he
rip
used to love, but he used to love
Tony Romo.
was it Tony Romo. He used to love him.
I think he got when Dak Prescott won as a rookie, that's when he started dragging Tony Romo and threw away Tony Romo's jersey in the trash. When Dak Prescott did that had that phenomenal rookie season.
Right.
But yes,
Uh,
I agree. Gemini is right. Skip will go both ways. You know what I'm saying? He spares none, but he do have his protecteds, like the Tom Brady's of the world, the Tim Tebow's of the world, and players like that. But outside of that, he will rip you, man. I think he used to rip Matt Harpering, before Matt Harpering started, making something of himself. So yeah.
yeah, but me
What's the other guy
personally,
for Atlanta? He used to rip him too. The dude for the quarterback for Atlanta,
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. Oh my God, he's tear Matt Ryan to shreds. Yeah, but Stephen A. Smith kind of stay away from those guys.
Yeah, like Stephen A. will let them breathe compared to what like Skip may say something quick and you'll be like, wait, he just talk bad about that one. But Stephen A. Oh my God, no.
Stephen A. Smith, when it comes to that vector of athletes, Stephen A. Smith is very tangential with his criticism.
Right.
He walks on eggshells. Talking about,
That,
what do you mean? You think I'm scared? I'm from New York. I'm from New York, man. You forget that? It's
but but
Queens, baby.
but that's why you kind of had lost me when you said apology. Like, yeah, 20 years from now. Because
No, but I
I'll be
just I
honest.
just I just shared
I
with you,
know.
Gemini, Paul George.
Mm,
I just shared that.
I think he's trying to get on the bomber train, the owner of the Clippers than anything. But all right,
But I'm just saying we can't surmise or we can't speculate. I mean, we can, but that'll make it right. You follow what I'm saying? That'll make it correct. We just know he did it. He did what he did, and there's receipts. So that goes to show you whether he have a hidden agenda or some manipulative motive. He still did it in front of the camera. He didn't do it through no backdoor channel. And
yeah,
I'm not,
that's
and
cute.
I'm not, and I'm not parading for Stephen A. Smith. You follow what I'm saying? I
Mm,
think he's an opportunist. I think he's a grand opportunist. That's what I think Stephen A. Smith is. And he just happens to take advantage of his opportunities. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them type of individuals. He's the sports version of Jesse Jackson to me.
oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. You brought up a good analogy with Jesse. Okay, I give you that. I give you that. But I don't trust that dude no further than I could throw him, and I
I,
know I
I'm
could throw
with you.
somebody pretty far.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. You know, it's some people that like Stephen A. Smith because they feel that he represents some form of black excellence because he have come through the ranks, and there's plenty of evidence to show that he was once on the low end of the totem pole, and now he's on the highest end of the totem pole with the highest ranking network in global sports. So that says a whole lot. And they move mountains for him to ascend in that position. Now, once he got there in that position, he has the free reins to talk gibberish and garbage about black athletes, American black athletes, that is.
Man, I hear you.
Where other analysts or pundits might be a little hesitant because they seen what happened to Rush Limbaugh when he got a little carried away. And Rush Limbaugh was very wealthy prior to coming to ESPN, and at one point wanted to buy the St. Louis Rams. Stephen A. Smith ain't at that level. And they fired Rush Limbaugh in a heartbeat for his negative criticism and color about Donovan Knapp in his performance as a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. They zapped Rush Limbaugh instantaneously, where he is a Caucasian man with power and has a voice and has a huge following, you know, and they zapped him. So a lot of Caucasian pundits be very careful when it comes to criticizing black athletes, especially at certain positions. And even Mel Kiper was warned. Even what's that other white guy on ESPN? They warned his ass too. The young white dude. Uh, he used to play quarterback in the NFL. His name is on the tip of my tongue. You don't really see him that much on ESPN if he's still on there, but he might see him more in football season.
No, he has
Him
his
and
own
Ryan Clark
show.
used to go at it. Yeah, him and Ryan Clark used to go at it a lot.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't call his name, but they gave him his own show on ESPN. That's literally what they
Okay,
did.
okay, yeah.
They took him off of that show, but like gave him his, like one of the I want to say radio type shows,
Are you
but
talking about
Okay,
Will Kane?
not Will Kane. No, Will
oh,
Kane
not
left to go
Kane.
to Fox. Yeah, Will Kane left to go to Fox. Will Kane's a lawyer, so no, not him. I'm talking about this guy played in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he played in the NFL. He used to come on First Take a lot. He be on the NFL Countdown show. Him and Matt Ryan go at it a little bit because both of them play football. Matt played on the opposite side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of this guy's name, man. If somebody would mention his name, but anyway,
You're not talking about
yeah,
that offensive lineman
no,
for the
not the offensive
Patriots.
lineman. No, not him. Not him. Not the
Okay.
offensive lineman. That's the Pat Saturday. I mean Saturday. Jeff Saturday. He was coaching the damn Indianapolis Colts, but no coaching experience. They gave him a head coaching job. Jeff Saturday, straight off of
Hmm.
ESPN. But no, not him. I'm talking about Dan Gazzard. Dan Gazzard. Something like that. His first name is Dan, and his last name start with a Z. I mean a G. Dan Gazzard or something like that.
Right, right,
He's a
right.
quarterback for the NFL. He played on several teams in the NFL. He's like a little journeyman, but he did play. And so you say they gave him his own show?
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
He was one of the ones
Shout out to Rave.
with the first
Shout
radio
out
show.
Ray Kingdom.
So yeah, let's get back. So Rave is here now. So when it comes to Lonzo Ball and De'Aaron Fox and Stephen A. Smith, love to push that narrative. Uh, Let me remind the people that Lonzo used to have De'Aaron Fox in check, and De'Aaron Fox did not beat Lonzo until the Sweet 16 when Kentucky played UCLA, and Kentucky was a higher seed. Kentucky was number 2 and UCLA was number 3, and Kentucky was favored to win that game, and eventually they did win that game. They was the better team. But that was the first time in De'Aaron Fox's career since high school was able to beat Lonzo Ball. And then they get into the pros. Once they got into the pros, the very first game that they matched up against each other, De'Aaron Fox took that game. And then Lonzo was beating De'Aaron Fox. So right now, that rivalry, Lonzo is up on De'Aaron Fox when it comes to wins and losses. Now, when it comes to the stats of those matchup, De'Aaron Fox do hold the edge. We got to give De'Aaron Fox his credit when credit is due. Now, in 8 regular season games and 8 games played, it's tied 4-4. But at one point, Lonzo had De'Aaron Fox 6-3,
I,
6 victories over 3 losses.
yeah, but what I take from what he was trying to do was it was more going on health than anything. Um, but I just don't like the way it came across, though, pimp. I'm sorry.
And De'Aaron Fox is a score machine. We got to give De'Aaron Fox that. He's definitely a score machine. But as far as the stats between these two, Lonzo is averaging 12.5, which rounds out to 13, and De'Aaron Fox is averaging 21.9, which average out to 22. And Lonzo have already stated that stats is never his forementioned. He never goes into the game predicating his success based on stats. What Lonzo does, according to Lonzo, he wants the W. He wants to have more W's than L's. And whatever stat that is accumulated during that process, so be it. He's not trying to accumulate a bunch of stats. He is not that kind of point guard. Lonzo wants his teammates to excel, but he wants to be a part of it. He wants to be a chain. He wants to be a link in that chain to help the team and teammates individually excel through the process process of that game. De'Aaron Fox, a lot of times, have we seen is that he's looking to shoot the ball. He's looking to. He only will assist based on the games that I watch. He will only assist if necessary. If it's not necessary, he'll take it from the top of the key, drive it down the lane, and make the left hand layup, or he'll pull up for the left hand Jimmy. And he's a scoring machine. We realize that. But when it comes to other stats across the board outside of scoring, Lonzo beats De'Aaron Fox, except in one category that might be surprising, and that category is steals. When they match up head to head, De'Aaron Fox averaged more steals than Lonzo Ball. Now, the number is basically the same. They both average 2 steals per game when they match up against each other. But when you give the numbers strictly for what they are, Lonzo is 1.9 and De'Aaron Fox is 2.1. That's how close it is. But De'Aaron edged him out. And another category that may be surprising that De'Aaron Fox and Lonzo are locked jaw in, and that is blocks. We think that Lonzo is a superior defender. He should have more blocks for the way that he played, but that's not the case. On the contrary, De'Aaron Fox and Lonzo Ball are tied with blocks when they go against each other head to head, and that's point 0.5 blocks a game.
Okay, but you're trying to put a scoring point guard against a playmaker. That doesn't even compute overall right there.
Right, but I'm just giving out the stats because the Stephen A. Smith keeps carrying on the narrative about the Fox and Lonzo thing, where he don't really put no context to it. Only
I
thing
dig it.
Stephen A. Smith is basically saying is that Fox can score better than you, Lonzo. That's it. You follow what I'm saying? That's the only thing. That's the only category that is lopsided, and that's the scoring category. Everything else is in Lonzo's favor except the steals by point two. Point two is the difference in steals. And the blocks are basically even at one. So those are the contextual stats that merge these two together when it comes to them playing head-to-head matchups. And like I said, Lonzo was leading De'Aaron Fox 6 victories to 3 losses until recent. De'Aaron Fox got a couple of victories in a row with the injured Lakers. He got one, and I think he got one in Sacramento in the Pelicans. When Lonzo was with the Pelicans, I think he squeaked out a victory against that team as well. But outside of that, Lonzo have the more wins when it comes to head-to-head matchup, and that's I thought what counts the head-to-head match. I mean the wins during the head-to-head matchup. That's what will catapult you over the next individual if you have that head-to-head. Last that I know how basketball look at it. But according to Stephen A. Smith, looking out the prism of his spectrum, he only looks at one category, and that's scoring. And De'Aaron Fox definitely is a more superior scorer on average than Lonzo Ball. But we know Lonzo Ball can score when need to because I mentioned it early on in the stream when he had that conversation with Zion, and Zion was definitely disappointed in Lonzo and his demonstration with Golden State, and then Lonzo came back with back-to-back plus 30-point games and won both of those 30-point games. The Golden State one, he hit the shot with with a few seconds left on the clock to win that. And with Minnesota against Ant-Man, he made those crucial free throws down the stretch. So we see Lonzo be in intense moments. And those games matter because remember the Pelicans were in a play-in race.
Right.
They didn't make the play-in, but those games down the stretch mattered, and Lonzo showed up.
Look, look. For one, shout out to everybody. Shout out to the chat. I'm so glad to talk to you guys once again.
What's up, fam?
Listen, what y'all are seeing is Stephen Smith never has nothing new to say. If you ever notice that a lot of his old sayings and old doings, it gets played out at this point. And when he says new things, it has to be, well, looked at, like, okay, he said something new, so you got to be challenged. The issue is about this one is he opened up his mouth and said something really stupid. And Lonzo let it be known. Like, no, I'm here. I'm here. And I want to know who in this chat, who in this panel, whoever, who's gonna walk down that altar? Because I'm still with Lonzo Ball. I'm still with his decision. I said this ain't the last y'all seen of him. So, and there's a couple of guys that I know that in this panel or in this chat that said this ain't the last y'all seen Lonzo Ball. So whoever made the video talking about it's over, it's time for him to retire, time for him to give up. And listen,
Wait, somebody made a video?
Oh man, there's always videos out there, bro. But listen, trust me, there's always videos out there.
I normally stay away from the subject, but
Yeah, there's
because
always
the
videos out. There's
subject
always videos out there, and
but
if
because the
there's
subject
videos
and the
about
predicate
people
been about
wondering,
Stephen A, that was why I really chimed in. I normally stay away from that
yeah,
whole.
Stephen A. Smith doesn't listen. You gotta understand, Stephen A. Smith doesn't follow his Lonzo Ball situation. He just brings up the De'Aaron Fox because that's the only thing he can bring up. So he brings up a past situation about is this Lonzo De'Aaron Fox thing that a lot of people like to have fun with because of the past history in college that they had and the past history that they are bringing into the NBA. The matchups. And people forget. Like, even in the NBA, Lonzo Ball. I mean, when everything went right, Lonzo Ball did De'Aaron Fox greasy. I don't think people understand when everything went right. The team was playing well. The team was involving Lonzo Ball, a part of even involving him. Lonzo Ball did that boy greasy. Kept De'Aaron Fox doing all that major scoring, And people be like, oh, but that's not true because De'Aaron Fox had 27 points. How many points did he have those 27 points when Lonzo was guarding him? Because last time I checked, he made maybe 6-7 points when Lonzo guarded his ass. It be the other niggas that guard his ass, and then De'Aaron Fox got 35 points that game. De'Aaron Fox got 35. Well, what do you mean? Lonzo's supposed to be guarding him. Lonzo's supposed to be guarding him. How many points De'Aaron Fox really score on Lonzo? Because do we really got to pull out the film and count every point? Because I bet you won't count up to 40 points. I bet you. I got the cash app. I tipped on Flight Sports TV. I made bets on Flight Sports TV. I put a bet. I bet you if you put the how many points De'Aaron Fox got on Lonzo Ball, I bet you won't add up to no 30, 40 points. But they've been quick to say it. Oh my God, he had 30 and 40 points on Lonzo. No, he didn't. But they be quick to say it though. Just because this is the rivalry and they're young and this is what they did in college. De'Aaron Fox beat them in the tournament. Like bro, like Dick said, but y'all want to talk about when Lonzo was beating on De'Aaron Fox team all the other games ago. And mind you, De'Aaron Fox had a souped up team with Malik Monk and a whole bunch of people. De'Aaron Fox had a squad. They won't talk about that though. That's why.
You talking about in college,
when this
right?
conversation come up, I don't like bringing this conversation.
He's talking about college.
You gotta make sure you mention that you
He
talking
said
college.
college when he started.
Okay.
Yeah. I try to go from this conversation because I thought we settled this years ago, but I find it funny how Stephen A. Smith wants to open his mouth on ESPN, and when some people's not educated on it, and it's they want to start speaking on it now. Now they want to open up their mouth about it now. So it's like, oh, come on now. So now we got to go through this long-winded story about something we already been taking care of. But we about to find out who's going to be paying homage because it's going to be a sad day for the haters when they see Lonzo Ball back on the basketball court.
Yep, and Ray, also, while you holding court, when you look at that team in college, the De'Aaron Fox Kentucky team, Lonzo Ball UCLA team, can anybody name one player besides Lonzo Ball on that team? And can you name any other player besides De'Aaron Fox on Kentucky team? You might name more Kentucky players than you will UCLA Bruin players.
Sure. Mr. Marvin Bagley was on that team. Mr. Malik Monk was on that team.
No, Marvin Bagley wasn't on that team. Bam Adebayo was on that team.
Oh, no, it's Bio. Yeah, you're right. But they don't talk about how that team was souped up.
Yeah, when you look at it, you had these are all the professional players come off that team. Bam Adebayo, De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, and William Gabriel. Now, when you look at Lonzo team that played, we talking about players that played minutes, not no players that came after Lonzo. The only player you might can say is what? Leaf?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to even give him that much credit. Because
really
he did go to Indiana, you know what I'm saying? But he never mounted up to anything. And the only reason why Leaf got drafted based on Lonzo.
And last time I checked, Lonzo Ball had to help them boys a lot. Pick up for their slack, all kinds of stuff on that UCLA team.
I just don't rock with Stephen A. I'm sorry, I just don't rock with him. I mean, I get what my man is saying. I just don't rock with Stephen A. at all.
I'm not saying I'm with him either. I'm not saying I'm with him. No. I'm not with Stephen A. Smith either. I just find it funny that he likes to steal. Anyways, I just find it weird that he wants to bring up old shit just because he ain't got nothing new to say. But when he does have new to say, Lonzo Ball put him on blast. Now I didn't expect Lonzo Ball was gonna do all that, but he did.
I mean, I would. I mean, no, and there's no offense. I don't follow Alonzo that much, but I know he started walking like 3.5 months ago. like 3 to 3.5 months ago. So I know he should be able to get up and down off a sofa or chair easy. So for Stephen A. just to say that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah, that's ridiculous, man. That's a crazy acquisition to just stay alive on air like that. I'm told that Lonzo Ball can't even get from a chair. Like nigga.
And he had just did the interview the
Uh,
day prior to him saying that. So it's like, I don't know why you said that. I really don't know why you said that. Well, two days prior to him saying that on the show, he
mm.
had just did the interview. So I'm like, I wouldn't have said that live on air, bro.
Now, in the chat, I've heard some people talk about Fox, and one of his name is Kenny. Listen, to De'Aaron Fox's credit, De'Aaron Fox has been through a few things in the NBA, especially when he got Luke Walton over there. We they warned him about Luke Walton, but De'Aaron Fox, cutting his hair and all kinds of stuff, and he I think he's become a respected player now. So no discredit to him. I think we're gonna see how it continues on into his future. I think De'Aaron Fox is a good player, man. Boy can move. He now shows he can just score, man. He can score that basket. Um, he's still young enough. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing issue with De'Aaron Fox. It's just people exaggerate what really happened between them two, and people like to exaggerate this matchup every time they go to each other. Right now, if Lonzo Ball and Fox, their teams came together right now, you know, I promise you, if you watch the game, Lonzo Ball will keep Fox from scoring keep from scoring most of the game. But somehow Fox will have 30 some points on the end of that game, and they'll just sit there, oh my God, y'all said Lonzo Ball's this great defender, but Fox still got 30. I'm like, bro, are you not watching the game? Because he didn't score that 30 on Lonzo. So that's what I think Dex and a lot of people like to we like to bring up, remind everybody, he's not doing that on Lonzo. That's dead. Like that's dead. That's not how Lonzo gets like. It's funny how people really just analyze the game. It's just wild. So now we sitting
Yeah,
here as uh people who actually know the truth and support the BBB and Alonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball, Leangelo Ball. We just like, yo, we telling y'all like y'all keep sleeping on these guns, but they really like that. So hey, we're gonna let people keep sleeping, and I think Dex is gonna keep being a soldier. Right now in fighting this battle, let everybody know like stop sleeping on Lonzo, and that's what we all gonna keep doing. Flight Sports TV, the place where it's at, and today was a great day to have a conversation about that, and I'm sure y'all having a conversation about it right now. And it's like, yo, Lonzo's back.
I mean, me personally, I just think that Max fought for us harder on the show than Stephen A. ever did. So my my, my subject and predicate only ends with actually really like the ether to Stephen A. And I will put that ether song on, especially for talking about Stephen A. Because that's how I feel about it. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I understand that. I understand that. And in the very beginning of Stephen A's career, you know, I actually had I actually did have a interest in him, man. He definitely has some funny things, man, and I think people actually was entertained by it, by some of his takes and using random words and saying funny lines and saying the takes that he had. But it's when you drag it's like playing a song over and over and over until it's boring. That's the issue with Stephen A. Smith. He wants to bring out these old takes over and over. And the more he speaks, right, the more Stephen A. speaks, you start sitting there like, bro, Stephen A., did you even watch the game? You know, that's really what everybody's like. That's the question that keeps coming to everybody that listens to Stephen A.'s takes now. It's like, did you even watch the game? Because his takes about things, whether it's a boxing match, whether it's a
Oh
football
no, he
match,
doesn't
whether
know boxing. He doesn't know boxing at all.
that's fine. I'm just talking in general. I'm just talking in
Oh,
general.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just talking in general. I'm just saying, no matter what he covers, whatever what sport he covers, it's the same conversation. It's nothing new. It's nothing that he's like. It's actually what we see. He just goes by the same narrative or the same information. So if he does say something new, it's like, okay, we're always going to question his take. You know, we're always going to question what he says. So that's how it is with him now. That's all. Different
Man,
breed now.
I just don't rock with Buddy. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
I,
that's
I,
fine.
I just don't.
I totally agree.
And that's the only reason why I kind of lashed out on my dude, and I kind of spazzed out with talking about an apology by him. Who? Like him? You really think? Nah, man. And yeah, Dex, I'm talking about you, my guy. I just have a problem with that with Stephen A. Dog. So please don't take it personal. I just got a problem with Stephen A. Dex. So as far as Lonzo, I think in time he will be healthy again. I just I just stay away from the subject because of
It's exhausting.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Thank you, Purple.
Lonzo is not on the court to allow his game to speak for itself. So I understand some of the sentiments that I'm hearing, and I respect it. But at the same time, I just believe that the the confidence that he has shown since his absence is remarkable because, like Rave said earlier, if you pay attention to all of the hissy fits on social media, you would think that this dude cut off his own head, and that's far from the case.
See,
So the narrative that they're spiraling out throughout social media and YouTube is very, very dreadful and deceitful in nature.
so I guess it's mainly because I don't have a Twitter like that. So I'm taking y'all talking about Twitter or something like that because I don't have a Twitter and I'm not afraid to say I don't have a Twitter.
It's through all social media and media in general. You know what I'm saying? The source of the telemetry is not in the best of interest of Lonzo Ball moving forward. It seemed like they just saw opportunity to bury him, and they're doing their damnedest to throw dirt on Lonzo. But yet they forgot that Lonzo is a seed.
Okay, well I I I, I could dig
But
that
I
part.
would
Okay.
say to the social media aspect too, a lot of people feel this. It's hard to cheer for somebody and keep faith in somebody when they're not on the court, on the field. None of that. Like it's hard to just keep cheering for them and hoping. You know, you do have bandwagoners, and that's what bandwagoners do. They, if you ain't playing, they on to the next person. They lose interest. It's hard to keep a steady like. I think about Kevin Durant. He's been injured a lot here recently, and I'm like, okay. I look and I really didn't pay attention to his fanfare that much, but I think about how popular he is and how I think people just in general are split down the middle with him. You do have tons and tons of people that come back, when he has his good games and stuff like that. But I think when I look at him, it's just like down the middle because he has been there. It's just with the last, I think, 5 or 6 years he's been hurt consistently.
Hmm.
The so it's hard. Like even with Kawhi Leonard, to me, Kawhi didn't. The stuff went down in San Antonio in the playoff game, right? He didn't. To me, he had it. He got his chance, of course, because you got the San Antonio fans and stuff. But he alienated to me with his actions. Even though I agree with him and I was on his side, like a lot of people in that fan base. And so when he moved on, Skip Bayless led that charge and saying Kawhi isn't this and Kawhi isn't that. And so his fan base, and it hurts him even worse because when he's on the court, like I think a lot of people that follow him are just people that was fans of him from the beginning since college. But NBA fans, it's not too many people that's fans of him. You seeing it with Paul George. Paul George is declining to a lot of people, and he's been unhealthy a lot since he's been with the Clippers. It's just like to keep one thing that helped LeBron and Curry to their, in the good graces was that they were healthy. Like when they started to become successful, they had Curry anyway. Curry had his knick-knack injuries here and there, but in a large part, when it was time for them to be successful, he was healthy. And people, the new fan base, the new generation, the generation under me, ain't tolerating, like, still cheering for a guy and he's injured. Like, they don't care what you would have been. If you ain't there, they ain't gonna cheer for you. They on to the next thing.
That I can't agree with you on.
I got one.
I mean, the newer basketball fans don't like they do separate it, but even when it comes to prime example, I I'll use your same metaphor, KD. KD was doing too much kind of prior, like right prior to the injuries really keeping him off the court. But that's that's the main reason why he started playing in those off-brand leagues to keep his popularity up. Also, if that kind of makes sense. And that's what really kept his name relevant, though.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, it, even when it comes to Curry, that's why actually Curry gives so much props to Mo Jackson because Mo Jackson is the one who put in that medical waiver for him because the NBA was really about to let him go. It's sad but true. Mo Jackson is the one who actually put in that medical waiver for Steph, and I don't know if it's called a medical exemption or a medical actual waiver. I can't remember what he actually had put in, like what it's actually called, but he put that in for Steph when Steph was having huge ankle problems, and that was the only thing that was keeping him off of the court. So I mean, I I kind of can understand to a point if Stephen A was only doing it on health, but I just don't trust a lot of his moves, man. So that's why I pretty much feel the way I feel about Stephen A. So for him just to open up his mouth, I'm actually glad Zoe did smack him in the mouth. So, but as far as Paul George plays purple. PG-13 does play compared to KL. KL be missing in action at home on the on his hospital bed, PG-13 normally plays. But I I I just had to hit y'all with that. What what you got, Dex? Cause you got quiet.
Well, honestly, I see CWE going through his trauma session, so I was just laughing in the background. This guy's amazing when it comes to these theories. Conspiracy theorist. That's what he is. He's talking about Curry with his magnet and things of that nature. But Durant don't need a magnet and all that.
Wait,
Come on,
wait.
CW.
KD do need a magnet. That's why he got those 10 dummy accounts on Twitter. And Broussard is the one that exposed him with that.
Yeah, CWE is he's a avid Kevin Durant fan, and
I
so
forgot.
he,
I forgot that
he
he.
yeah he won't give Steph Curry a break. I mean, for crying out loud, we saw Steph Curry in McDonald commercials with his dad shooting threes. So
Well,
I don't know what to tell you when it comes to that gene being in Curry, the shooting gene. It's just only obvious. So
oh, oh,
magnets, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
okay.
I
So
never
hold
thought a
on.
ball curved.
CW is a Kevin Durant fan, right? Okay. So CW, I got a question for you, Doc. Why is your player and I'm asking you because I don't know how hard you follow him because I'm a LeBron fan and I follow my guy a lot. So my question is, why is your guy so emotional when they bring him up? Because LeBron don't be emotional. So I gotta ask you that. And if No Panic was up here, I would ask him why is Irvin so emotional too. So I'm asking CW, why is your man so emotional when they talk about him? Cause he get to talk about people, but don't want nobody to talk about him. So why is your man so emotional? I mean, $12 a month to get the sport access pass and the new TV shows. All right, that don't have nothing to do with KD. CW, I asked you about KD. And there was the youngest player to 500 points and threes, and at this pace will break current three-point record. But Dre, it really isn't known for shooting threes though, pimp. And if you're really basing that, Curry was hurt for a lot of his younger years. He really was. So that's not a that's not a shot at Curry. That's actually telling the truth. Okay, CWE not even gonna answer my question about the rant. Oh, okay, Dex, you got it because I really was trying to get him to answer that question. I
Yeah,
really
he's
was.
he's engaged with Basil Carpenter. You know, so Basil thinks Denver is going to be back in rare form, and CWE thinks the Suns is the only team in the NBA that can threaten Denver reign at the top. So a lot of times when they get on in the chat, they get the
Okay,
bumping
hold on.
heads somehow, some way.
Okay, hold on. I'm actually about to pull up Phoenix roster. I pulled it up the other day, but it's not fully on my mind. Yes, Philly did get some players, and I mean Phoenix did pull up some players, and I was actually shocked that they signed who they signed, but I don't think that moves the needle for them. I mean, I know Gordon doesn't. He fills a roster spot, but I don't think that really moves the needle for them.
Y'all hit
Now,
that like button. Come on,
now,
man. Stop
now,
acting like your fingers is numb.
now, when it comes to Idoka, I don't think they're gonna play him enough for him to actually show that he's a good pillar. So hold on, I'm gonna pull that roster up right now. I just got to pause in what I was doing.
Anthony Edwards has definitely been showing out his butt, and he's not. He's going to only get better once he start really learning the game. Anthony Edwards going to only get better, and he's going to be more dangerous. And maybe 2 to 4 years. I mean, 3 to 4 years from now, he'd be practically unstoppable.
Flight, put the link up again so I can get to this other internet on my phone right fast. Flight. Dang it, I can't get to that other internet. Okay, so I'm gonna have to stop what I'm doing. All right, because I mean, Phoenix technically has a four-headed monster, but it just depends on how they're gonna play eight. It
But
really
it's only
does.
one ball though, Gemini, and that's what I be trying to share with CWE when he gets to pumping his chest like King Kong. There's only one ball.
I mean, I dig the one ball situation, but that's why they're gonna have Bradley Bill running point. I mean, my whole thing is, you really think Kevin Durant is gonna be a better than average power forward though? Because he's playing power forward this year. You do know that, CWE, right?
Yeah, he been playing it for the last couple of years.
Help defending, but not actually like playing it for the bulk of his minutes though, bro. Like the bulk of his minutes, no. Like little spots and spurts, yes.
He 33. Oh shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
Rap God, really? You telling me
Joker
Larry Bird
plays
got
exactly like Bird? No, no, he don't. Joker plays more like Bird than Luca does. Rap God, you high on that one?
you? Right. I'm like, I ain't never heard nobody say Bird chucks up the ball.
I mean, they have Ross, Lee, and I don't know how that Asian guy from that used to be with the Nets gonna play with Phoenix. They got Udoka. TJ Ward not showing up for him. Oh shoot, they got both leads. Yeah, they got both of the leads. So number 38 not gonna hit the floor. He only averaged 2 points last year. I don't know what they're gonna bring to the table because I think Bismack is gonna wind up re-signing with them. So I don't know,
Gemini,
CWA. Yeah, yeah,
Gemini.
yes sir.
Henry just gave us some news that I wasn't even aware of with the
What's that?
U.S. select team.
I mean, They are so many. There's so many all stars on that team. Just by benching one, you still gonna they still gonna get minutes though. I get what Henry's saying, but they still gonna get minutes.
Yeah, but Jalen Bronson's supposed to be that guy running the point, and Bi is supposed to be one of the vets.
Yeah, but the last game Bi played well.
How many games they got left?
No, they just starting. Those other games was exhibition games,
Oh,
like tune-up games. Now they getting ready to go into pool play.
any what I was about to say, any Golden State Warriors players on that roster?
No,
Mm.
Any
no,
Phoenix Suns player on the roster?
not to my knowledge.
Any Denver
Um,
Nugget players on the roster?
Well, the best player
no,
we know.
no. Nobody can say upcoming superstar guards are better than Curry, but everyone says Tatum, Giannis is better than KD. Keep it 100, everybody. What?
What?
Well, okay, hold on. CWE, shooting wise, KD is better. But when it comes to all around game, Giannis is better than KD. Tatum has a tendency to run out of gas when they really need him, but he does play better defense than KD, especially on the ball defense. So uh, I'm not getting what you're saying, Pam.
I know what he's saying. People are saying that KD is not a top 5 player anymore. Top 15 or top 10, yes, but not top
Because
5.
he hasn't been on the court. You have to be on the court to get that evaluation. CWE, you just want us to give this MF a grade? Just give him an A? Remember, this is the same guy who twisted his ankle and shoot around out there by himself. You do realize that, right? By himself. Coaching staff wasn't around him. Shooting trainers wasn't around him. He went for a layup by himself and twisted his own ankle. So that goes to show you how much he puts into his own recovery health, which is none. I mean, I don't mind you being a delusional fan, but you can't ask everybody else to be a delusional fan with you. Everyone said KD can't win without the war. Actually, CWE, I do not think he will win a championship without the Warriors. Yes, I'm with everybody on that one. Yes, I'm with everybody on that one. Cause that was a real punk move to me, and I don't care what, what y'all say about that. Cause I don't even think LeBron would have did a move like that, dog. Curry, I mean Irvin, yeah, he would have. KD hasn't even made it out of the second round. Thank you.
Right
What?
now, it's more than about. So, do you think in general KD's game is deteriorated? Like he didn't took a step back.
Yes, the playoffs shows that. Yes, yes. In fact, that's why Monty Williams was fired for bringing it up with him. Yes. Has he taken a step back? Yes. Speed wise and everything else, yes.
Okay.
But that's also because Father Time is undefeated, regardless on who the player is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I give him his kudos, but I'm not delusional about it. Now, if CW is asking me to be a little bit delusional, I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave him out there on that island by himself.
Right. Yeah, it's just interesting.
I mean,
Okay.
has his game lost a step? Yes. Bradley Beal, has his game lost a step? Yes. Booker, has his game lost a step? Yes.
How
I
old is
don't know about Booker. I don't know about that one. I can ride with
because
Bill and I
Book,
can ride with
Book,
Durant. And we know
Booker
that
used to come off
DeAndre
screens.
Ayton
He
is,
don't
is
come off
sloop
the
footed
screens like that. He don't come off the screens like he used to, Dex.
because his game is under control.
You say under control.
Yes.
All right.
He's not that speed demon erratic player that he once was. Chris Paul brought a lot of control to his game. So now Kevin Durant don't even have to, really speak on it with him about that because Kevin Durant was the same way. Once he got the game under control, he come off screens real smooth. He do his pull up real smooth. You're not going to force him to go fast, and you're not going to force him to go slow. Kevin
Now,
Durant dictates his speed.
now, if you would have been talking about Kyle and that the Anderson boy,
Yeah,
I agree with you.
yeah,
But
slow
but
mo.
yeah, but you talking about KD, I disagree.
So you don't think KD dictates the pace of his game?
KD doesn't. KD normally what he normally does across the board. KD normally see who's going on, and then just normally either go for it, give you about 1 to 1.5 move, maybe two, and then he shoots. That that's normal his rhythm pattern.
I just think Booker game is real smooth, man. I mean, I don't see too many flaw in his game. On the offensive side, I think he gets where he wants to get, and he can elevate. He can take it to the rack. He can cross you over. I just think his offensive weaponry is awesome. It's dynamite.
I I I, I hear what you're saying. I do. Has he lost a step? Was the overall question. Yes, he has.
You don't think he's slowed down by design purposely
Nah.
because he have a different makeup of the team. And even when Chris Paul was there, Chris Paul dictated the pace of the game. So Booker had to make adjustments accordingly. Because prior to Chris Paul, yes, he can run up and down the court because they didn't have a solid floor general. But Chris Paul eradicated that kind of style of play in which they was playing reckless with abandon. Now that KD's there, you might think he lost a step, but maybe it's just control.
Well, Booker, and the main reason why I say lost a step because I really didn't notice he cannot push past a lot of two guards that he should be able to push past. Like he really should be able to push past these guys, especially with his scoring prowess. But he hasn't been able to.
Mm, okay, I mean I'm not gonna fight it because you might know more about his offensive output than me because I don't pay much attention to the Suns. Never had, never will. Since '93, that was probably the last time I paid attention to the Suns.
Yeah, he literally used to like give you a ball fake and pri- prime example, you throw him the ball, right? He catches it. He'll give you a little bob fake. If you bit, he was sprinting past you. If you did not bite, he would dribble to blow by you. He doesn't do that blow by no more. On too many guards, he's not doing that blow by. But normally that was his rhythm pattern.
I always thought that Booker was a non-rhythm player.
Nah, he really was. Or he was trying to be, I should say. I seen a pattern in this game.
Mm. Well, I was just basing that on what Earl Watson said about him. You know, the guy who coached him.
Yeah, I seen a pattern when it came to him catching the ball, especially like he hates people that play up defense on them, just like the Joker. He hates those type of players because he honestly know he's not going to get that foul that he want that he will get if they back up off of him. So he hates players that guard him straight up. In fact, Cam when Cam Reddish was a Nick, Cam stole the ball from him twice in the game by playing up on him. Like literally, like took his cookies right there. In the game,
So they played the Knicks twice. Was Cam a part of the Knicks both of those games?
I think so. I know he was a part of one. I know he was a part of one because that's when I honestly forgot that who Cam was, and then Cam got that steal. I was like, oh snap!
And
Because I
it was a one-on-one, mano a mano, or was it help
yeah,
defense?
no help defense played up on him. And that's one of the reasons why I'm actually happy that the Lakers got him. Because not only does Cam play defense, he could at least give you 10 points a game, at least coming off of the bench, at least give you 10 points a game.
Rap God Reloaded says, "Call me crazy. Edward clears Morant. You agree or disagree?"
That was clear. Ja,
Yes.
yeah, Ant Man is better than Ja. Ant Man is better than Ja, but Ja is in a playmaking position though, so you kind of will have to give that edge back to Ja and even it out. Because Ja is more of a playmaker. Because he is the point guard. Where Edwards actually had to change his position from small forward because he was getting out muscle. And now he's playing his right position as far as the NBA of shooting guard. So he should have a better year this upcoming
Well,
year.
well, I think he have a better year as well because John Morant is suspended, and he's
I,
suspended.
I'm not bringing the suspension in the play with this. I'm saying by him at his now he's at his natural position as far as the NBA, he should play better. What was happening these prior seasons, Ant Man, what in most games when everybody would say, "Oh, he didn't show up. He didn't show up." Well, because he was getting out muscled at the small forward position, he was trying to be that Dwayne Wade type player. Dwayne Wade is a natural point guard, but he can play shooting guard, right? We all can attest to that.
Right. Yeah.
But me personally, is especially with watching Flash and following him, I would prefer Flash at PG because I didn't like Mario, I didn't like Cole, I didn't like the other point guard they bought there. I felt that really was the Wayne Wade position, but because we needed him as more as a scorer, I I had to accept him being shooting guard. If that kind of makes sense. Like I really did follow Dwayne Wade. I really did. I damn near knew about everything that was going on in Chicago. But when it comes to him playing in the NBA, man, I love this guy at point. Like I ain't gonna lie, I was mad that they changed him from PG to shooting guard. I really was.
Yeah.
No, he was playing average at small forward. He wasn't playing great. Ant Man as a small forward plays average, like literally a little bit above average, to be honest. Not great. He was getting out muscled, and that was the part that was killing him. He was getting out muscled. In fact, that was the whole reason why he was mad that Prince just left. He was one of the first players that spoke on the Prince leaving.
Purple Baby, is it anything that you saw in sports today that you want to elaborate on?
Purple, come back! Don't leave us like this, Purple.
Oh, I meant to tell you guys that I did win. I'm not encouraging gambling because gambling is very addictive and can be very expensive. So you have to be very careful you're approaching that. But I did win. The Washington Commanders won straight up against the Baltimore Ravens, and it was a thriller because it took a last second field goal by the Commanders to win the game in the fourth quarter. And I got a nice little something something on that game.
I'm, I'm did did Junior play in that one? Beckham.
Who? Oh, I
Beckham.
don't know. I didn't watch none of the game. What happened was I got an alert on my phone that the game had ended, and I went over to there and I saw them highlighting the Commanders in a celebration form, and I was like, "What?" And then I went over to the box score, and
Hmm.
saw it was 29-28. I was like, "Oh shit! I won both. I won the uh, the money line, which is always great when you win the money line, and I won the uh, the point spread."
I
So
I'm just concerned that offensive coordinator left the Chiefs to go to the Commanders.
you said what?
I'm shocked that the offensive coordinator from the Chiefs went to the Commanders.
Oh, went to the Commanders. Oh, you talking about the enemy?
Hmm.
Well, I'm quite sure it's a reason why. Maybe because he might be the next head coach.
Um,
Because the Washington Commanders head coach, he's a weenie, right? He's a nobody. So
no, isn't that still the coach that was over the Panthers?
Rivera,
Yeah,
no, I thought they got some little young guy over there coaching. Unless that was last season.
I think it's still Rivera, dog.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't follow
Riverboat.
them.
That's what they call him,
Yeah,
Riverboat Rivera.
yeah, I don't follow him that hard, but I think it's still him.
Okay, maybe it is. I don't know, but I guess they feel that he wasn't going to get no head coach over no Andy Reid, so that's a no. So he probably felt maybe to go to the Commanders is a great opportunity for him to slide in that head coaching job up there in DC.
I mean, once again, that sounds cute, Dex, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm just saying, I don't see it. That's the main reason why I was real concerned with him leaving. I'm like, mm, now unless they up the pay, cause the owner did need to up the pay for the coaches. I do remember the coaches complaining about the pay with Washington. Now, if he upped the pay, especially with that man being a proven Super Bowl type
Two
coach,
time, two time.
yeah. So I mean, if he's not doing that, yeah, I got an overall problem. But if he is doing that, okay, more power to him.
Now, if he can coach offensively the Washington Commanders into a playoff, then he probably will be a head coach next season.
I don't I don't know if they're gonna do all that. I'm just not. I don't think they're gonna do all that. And it's not no knock on him. I'm only saying what I personally think they're gonna do and what they're not gonna do. Because
Okay, well,
because also do remember and know this: the NFL does not have a lot of excuse me, god damn, that let you know I'm about to
salute,
come back.
salute.
Uh, a lot of black head coaches at all. So that
Yeah, the NFL always have shown scarcity in that aspect of the game as far as black head coaches. I think the
so
NBA has been more liberal than all of the four major sports entity in America.
yeah, but the players union have more power with the NBA compared to the NFL. Like the players union and the NBA, like they come together more. Even when they disagree, they still come together more than the NFL.
I
Like
wonder what professional sports had more season interruption, whether it was strike, was it labor disagreements. I wonder which ones: it baseball, football, basketball, hockey,
baseball, baseball and football, baseball and
base,
football.
baseball and football.
If the owners like with baseball and basketball, the players union control more of the sport. Like honestly, they really do control more of the sport. Cause cause technically, if you really like want to be overall honest, the only reason why baseball have more viewership than basketball is the length of the game. You can't help but tune in between that first and that ninth round. You can't help but tune in at least and go back and check the score. So they get a point every time you even go back to check the score.
Say that again.
They get a point on viewership. Just say
Oh,
you at home right now, right?
okay, I
And
got
you
you.
and you click on them.
That's called
And
Nielsen ratings.
yeah, so they, they 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 get a point every time you click on it.
Got you.
With basketball, that I mean, we all know at the most that's 58 minutes at to 63 minutes, even with commercials. So I mean that's the most you're gonna get out of it, unless it's overtime. Hell, we all then tune into a basketball game and like watch the half and be like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap during this halftime. By the time we wake up, it's either the end of the fourth or that game is over.
Yeah, well, it's only 48 minutes to the game, and then you
Right,
count whatever's in halftime.
right. But I'm just saying what literally happens though. Like you by the time you retry to look up or whatever, and that game count.
Yeah,
So the
football.
NBA don't get that hit.
Yeah, football got some extended play, but baseball, man, that seems like baseball be on for 3 hours. But they shortened it this year, though. They did a lot to baseball to shorten some of the gratuitous times that was taking place on that field, especially with the pitcher doing what he do, the batter doing what he do, and then
Yeah, I mean, they are trying to shorten the game, but if you notice, the players union it kind of had some pushback to that because they was like, how you gonna rush the batter?
yeah, but
And then
I don't think it's rushing. I don't think it's about rushing the batter. Just to me, as a ex baseball player, because I didn't do all that, hit my cleats and touch my elbows, and all I did
yeah,
was wind my bat up, put one foot in the box, leave
yeah,
one foot out,
but
so the
that's what they
pitcher
do,
can't
Bill.
pitch, and
But that's
then
what
get in
they
the
do.
bounce. Yeah, but they want to touch their hat, touch their helmet. They do all these rituals up there. I mean, come on, man, with the superstition.
Now, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm actually with you. I just say what the players union complained about. So
And,
so
that's
nine
more of the
times
new
out of
age
ten,
baseball. Because the old age baseball, they didn't do all that. They just put their cleats in the dirt. They dug in, wind their bat, and they was ready to unleash. The
right?
pitchers didn't do all this, touching their chest and putting their hands up in the air. Every pitcher doing the Sammy Sosa routine. I mean, like, come on. They
I
didn't
mean,
do that back in the day.
it was also hard for us to even understand how the like when did the pitcher put the Vaseline on their hands and everything because they used to move
Right.
so fast.
They
So
used to
I
move so
mean,
fast, exactly. Touch their hat, the cap, the bib of the cap. They had all kind
yeah,
of tricks. The collar. Yeah, but nowadays, man, they got all the jewelry on. I think did they stop them from wearing the jewelry for pictures?
no, they're still able to wear the single chain with
Um,
a medium sized medallion.
okay. I remember one time they got two pictures wearing two and three chains. Like, dude, what you doing with all that?
Yeah, but that was mainly
To distract the batter, of course.
yeah, but that was mainly us as ah now pale skin personnel. That's all of us. That was really us, us with a little bit of melanation going on, regardless on if we was Puerto Rican or
Cuban,
Afro. Yeah,
Dominican, uh, Puerto Rican, a lot of those islanders.
I mean, but your boy for the Pirates kind of brought it back though. I can't call his name.
McCutcheon,
I, uh,
McCutcheon.
oh, okay, that
Yeah, Dalen McCutcheon.
yeah, he kind of brought that Barry Bonds chain back. I was
Yeah,
like, boy, the only thing you missing is that peach fuzz on his chest. Boy, that's the only thing you missing there, boy.
yeah. Well, tonight we had a really, really beautiful stream with a lot of information from various content creators and those who participate on the panel. The chat went wow. Man, the chat was explosive. There's so much engagement was going on in the chat. We couldn't even keep up until it kind of slowed down a little bit. So big ups to the chat and salute to the panel and everybody that pulled up the Flight Sports TV. We had a great, great stream that's been streaming thus far. Alonzo Ball have excited the masses by him coming out and giving the repercussion to Stephen A. Smith, gloating about his sources and giving him bad information about Lonzo Ball and his ability or inability to move around as an average human being. And Stephen A. Smith put a 20 on a 10 and puffed it up with all that extra baking soda in B12. So Lonzo had to come out and defend his disposition, and let the world know that whatever source that Stephen A. Smith have is not giving him correct information on him. Now, he don't know about all the other stuff, Stephen A. Smith sources. But on that aspect, it was incorrect, and he immediately set the record straight. He did not allow it to linger on into days, into weeks, into months. No, he put it out immediately. And the reason why Lonzo put it out the way he put it out is due to the fact he was just on Trey Young podcast, and Trey Young asked him about his status on the rehabilitation of his surgery. And he said, it's going well, basically. Paraphrasing. It's going well. It's going according to plan. And then Stephen A. Smith tried to come out and say something different. Oh, the man can't even get up in the chair. So what I'm hearing from my sources, that he cannot sit down and raise from a chair without excruciating pain. It's very difficult for him. And then Lonzo debunked, deconstructed that madness that Stephen A. Smith was pumping on First Take in ESPN. And he demonstrated that he can get up out of a chair. Not only could he get up out of a chair, Lonzo Ball demonstrated that he can do it gymnastically. He can do it to show strength in that leg by isolating the weight of his body and putting it on the knee, and the knee have enough strength to lift up his body. Now, he's not the biggest guy in the world. We understand that. You know, there's nothing hefty about Lonzo anatomic frame. We know
Trying
that.
to say the man not sizey? You trying to say the man not sizey?
Yes, he's not sizey, Paul. He still have a slender body. I mean, we don't expect him to be the Incredible Hulk, you know. But when we look at his legs, we see how thin them legs are. he can't hide that, and we understand. But nevertheless, his body weight was put on that knee, and he exercised the process of up and down on that chair, isolating, I might add, that knee. So we know just by the visuals of his demonstration at that nice looking pool. Look, did you see the background? You see the valley?
Yeah, I did see that.
That's the brand new house he just purchased in the valley. I know where it is, but I'm not going to say the city. But in the valley, it just, all that green back there just looked so lively. So that's his own mansion. It's not the big baller brand. That's his own mansion in the valley that he bought, I believe, earlier this year. Or was it last year? Might have been last year. Late last year, when he closed out on that. But nevertheless, he demonstrated and showed us the strength in the knee. Now, I already know he's been dunking the basketball. He's been moving. We highlighted Lonzo Ball activity prior to him speaking on it. We highlighted Lonzo Ball activity prior to LeVar even coming on the stream. We had already put out trinkets of information based on his fast recovery during his rehabilitation. how he was off crutches, walking, while Jello was still on a one crutch scooter moving around. Lonzo was already up and walking. So far, the surgery have been a success. Now, the rehabilitation have shown it's working in the way that his knee is not a liability as far as everyday activities. That's a good sign. Why Lonzo is not back? Because it takes at least a calendar year to fully heal and recover from that surgery. Now, what he do in the gym, they have a brand new gym they built on the premises of the Big Baller Estate, where they can just go shoot around, just do whatever they want to do. And its size is in like a professional setting. It's a wonderful looking gym. Now, when he goes into that gym and he's at home and is coveted where there's nobody looking, there's no outside onlookers. He can go up and put up his shots. He can go up and do his dunks. He can go and do turnarounds. He can run lines, whatever. He can even do figure eights if he wants to, in the company of within his own self at the Big Baller Estate. And maybe this is why he's feeling so confident, because nobody has seen him out and about doing any kind of training to that matter. And there's no footage that we know of. But
Right,
for him to speak up and speak out against Stephen A. Smith is letting us know, if we read the fine print.
yeah, but Dex, I have to add what Thunder is saying. Thunder, they said the same thing about PG-13 with his injury. So I understand where you're going with it. Is this he needs a little bit of more time, and they did say the same thing about Jeff Green also with having heart surgery. I'm sorry, Dex. You have the floor again. I had to
Yeah,
touch on that. What Thunder was saying.
and so now that he is feeling so confident, and then at the conclusion of his rebuttal to Stephen A. Smith, oh boy, did he debunk Stephen A. Smith. I mean, whatever Stephen A. Smith said just collapsed right there in his face. He said he will be back. He said, I'm coming back. He didn't say, I'm on the road to recovery and hopefully I'll be back. No. He said it like he was throwing excrement in the face of Stephen A. Smith. I'm coming back. Damn. And he said it with confidence. And he didn't say it like a mouse. He said it like a man. So when, not if Zoe come back, when Zoe come back, could he be effective? That's what C Red Nation is anxious to know. Would he be that confident on that parquet floor that reads the United Center, that has the Chicago Bulls logo at center court? Can Lonzo be effective to bring the Bulls back to a prominent and relative position in the landscape of the NBA because he's been bold. Lonzo Ball has been acting very bold. He's been brash. Listen, when the last time we see Lonzo Ball with a comeback like this? Isn't this classic? Isn't this a classic comeback? Is LeBron in Lonzo Ball ear? Did LeBron pump him up like, Zoe, get him, Zoe? What? I mean, come on, man. We gotta ask these questions because we know how Stephen A. Smith and LeBron be clashing heads. LeBron and Stephen A. Smith are colliding worlds. They're two titans in their respective arena that clash. We already know what we already know what Skip Bayless. We already know about him and LeBron. But this is not Skip Bayless' moment. This is Stephen A. Smith once again targeting clutch clients. And Lonzo said, oh no, pump your brakes. Not this time, my guy. You done stepped in horse manure. And the horse manure you stepped in, I'm going to pick it up and ball this excrement up and throw it back at you. Because you're doing too much, too soon, too often. And something just tells me LeBron might just have this one by the tail. And Lonzo was too amped and too confident to come for Stephen A. Smith. And look at the rapidness of response that Lonzo came back. When you actually look at it, it's a repudiation. And what better guy to repudiate Stephen A. Smith and his misinformation-led narratives than Lonzo, the good guy, the quiet guy. And the scenery of his crib was just perfect for that. And he did it outside. He didn't do it inside. He did it outside his crib in a very open, spacious place with so much greenery and a modern, luxurious swimming pool and jacuzzi. And he showed Stephen A. Smith how incorrect he is. And he needs to recheck or revet his sources before he opened up his fat mouth speaking against a clutch client member in the sport of basketball. I think Stephen A. Smith needs to reconcile this situation. Some say he would never apologize. I think he will. I think Stephen A. Smith will use this. Stephen A. Smith will use this. Shout out to SB Sports Talk and Ali Payne. Stephen A. Smith will use his moment to galvanize more audience, and somehow, some way, this could be a one-on-one conversation. Because his dad is not going nowhere near Stephen A. Smith. That's what he told us. He told us straight up. No. He told me straight up, no. I'm not talking to them people no more. It's over with. Jeff Goodman effed it up. Molly Quorum effed it up. Stephen A. Smith, no, he ain't dealing with them people no more. One too many strikes against that network. But will Stephen A. Smith crawl up under the dirt of the earth and try to get at Lonzo's shoestrings and pull up from his ankles to his waist, to his midsection, to his shoulders, until he's standing up face to face with Lonzo and say, Zoe, will you please come on my show? Can we talk this out on air in front of the world? And if I'm found wrong and guilty, I will definitely apologize and I will humble myself and I
I
will
don't think
leave
that's gonna
your
happen.
rehabilitation alone until you get back on that court,
I, I,
Gemini.
I no, I'm sorry. I think that'll happen with shoot, your boy who made his name on LeBron James back.
Rich Paul.
Shit. No, no, not Rich Paul. Rich Paul, not a
Oh,
reporter.
you talking
He's
about Skip
a
Bayless?
no, no, not Skip. Shoot, the little chubby guy, man.
The
Why can't
little
I call
chubby,
his name right now? Yeah,
is he white or black?
white.
The little chubby guy.
Yeah,
Oh, Brian Windhorst?
yeah. Nah, I can see him. So probably doing an interview with him and maybe his show. But Stephen, nah, I don't see that happening. I'm sorry. Winnie, that's the nickname he go by.
Yeah,
I was trying
Winnie.
to think
Yeah,
of the nickname, Winnie.
yeah,
I
Brian
think,
Windhorst. Yes.
yeah. If you think if you would have said Winnie, I would have been there with you. But you didn't say Winnie. You
But that's
said
what it's
Stephen
all
A.
about. It's about the circus.
No,
It's
I
about
no.
attention.
But Zoe not that type of player. Like not when I say player, I'm not talking about him as an NBA player. I'm talking about him as an individual.
Person. You talking about he's not that
Yeah,
type of person.
yeah. Like,
Just maybe, he might wing out and accept the invite based on him being that clutch client and have an opportunity to clear the air where
with
he's
Winnie,
speaking for
yes.
himself and not somebody speaking up for him.
No, with Winnie, yes. With Stephen A, I doubt it, Dex. I got hella pushback on that one. If you would have said Winnie, I would have gave it to you, but you didn't say Winnie. Even
Because when he's
even
not talking, Stephen A. Smith is talking.
no, I think if Zoe was to approach somebody for a interview, and I'm saying if Zoe
No,
was to
not
approach
Zoe. Zoe
somebody,
ain't looking
no,
ask
no, no, no,
nobody.
no, no. Just follow me for a second. I'm saying if Zoe was to reach out, it would definitely be Winnie. Stephen A. Even if Stephen A. reach out, I think Zoe will be ready to smack him in the face with powder on his hand, dog. Like, nah, man. Winnie, if like, I think even Zoe or Rich, now that's this is why I bring up Rich Paul. Zoe, Winnie, LBJ was to reach out, it'll be more to Winnie and his show, like n- not even the NBA thing with Malika. It definitely wouldn't even be with Malika. But you said Stephen A. No, I think he gonna brush his shoulders off from that one. I personally think. I don't think he will give no attention to anything with Stephen A. or Malika.
He already gave attention to Stephen A. at least by
That was this
responding.
that's answering the question. That's kind of different.
Okay.
That's kind of let me punch you in the mouth for opening up your mouth type situation, rather than Stephen A. name being in Zoom out. Two different perspectives.
All right.
If
That's
the
what's up. Y'all hit that like button, man. Y'all getting some good content tonight. Y'all hit that like button.
and that's mainly why I bring up Winnie more, because Winnie does have, excuse me, an overall better relationship with the founder of Clutch Sports. Um, and if anybody was to get a interview, it would be Winnie. Even to answer the Stephen A question or the lady. I don't I can't call her name. Why when I'm not watching the
Oh,
show I can't call her name?
Ramona, Ramona.
Ramona.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that I'm picking the other reporters. I'm saying who have a better relationship with them. I'm not picking them because of skin tone. I'm honestly picking them because I know they have a better rapport with them as they camp from one camp to another camp. Like they, I think damn near everybody with Clutch Sports will ignore Stephen A. Smith. Rather, if Winnie was to reach out and say, "Would you want to do an answer?" and if Winnie's a part of it'll be more like, "Yeah, I'll do an answer with you."
Okay. I mean, that's cool too. But that would could be kind of exciting to see Stephen A. and Lonzo kind of clash it out or hash it out, however
Because
perspective you want to
actually,
see it from.
Stephen A. Smith don't like Winnie. Because because Winnie was the one who actually was one of the first reporters to believe in LeBron James. So
Oh,
so so Stephen A. Smith don't like Winnie. He don't.
oh, okay.
Wi-
Yeah, because I do know
it
Whitney been following him since high school.
Yeah, but when it actually got into it with his editor about like how because when it was on the and the only reason why we actually know this when he actually said it himself, he was on the possibility of losing his job because he got into it with his editor about LeBron James. Like, man, we need to start covering this guy, and the editor actually gave him pushback, and if that next story like didn't pop, I think within that same week, I think when it said he was on the cusp of getting fired
Mm,
at that time because that's how much he believed in LeBron game, and just so happened it panned out.
wow. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat: Abby Payne, Chuck Morris, uh, SB Sports Talk. Shout out
Ac-
to Thunder. Shout out to Son of Will. Shout out to CWE. Shout out to Basil Carpenter Jr. Shout out to Rap God Reloaded. Shout out to Dre. We see Kenny up in here going hard early on for Deaaron Fox. And shout out to
Wait,
everybody
what
that's
what
just
what
in the
what
building.
what what King C said about Fox? I missed that.
You said Kenny?
Whoever said
Kenny
something
said
about
something
Fox.
early on in the stream. You have to scroll up way up there. He was talking about the variation between Lonzo and De'Aaron Fox, and he highlighted De'Aaron Fox achievements this year with the Sacramento Kings, and also making his first All Star appearance. And and he was saying that Lonzo's been out for 2 years, so how can you even compare the two? Based on basketball play, one on the court or one not on the court. Shout out to Slim, of course.
Man,
I think didn't I see Jessica in the chat? I thought I saw her in the chat earlier.
hey Chuck, I'm a basketball coach for Stephen A. I mean, he only averaged like 4 points in college, so I know you could easily outdo 4 points, Chuck. And that's the other thing when Stephen A. don't like when people bring up about his college days. Stephen A. can't stand you if you bring up his college stats. He can't stand you like at all if you bring up his college stats. I don't know if you know that, Dex.
Yeah, I heard a couple of people get him on his college stats, like Jalen Rose before. I think Richard Sherman. Uh, who else clowned up with that? Was it Tracy McGrady? It was somebody else that clowned about his college stats. But yeah, I mean, he played. Did he play at what North Carolina? North Carolina State, AT&T,
Yeah,
A&T, or something like that. He played with Big House Gaines, right? I mean, he was there when Big House Gaines was still alive, and
I
he's one
mean,
of the legendary, iconic coaches in the HBCU circuit. Besides Eddie Robinson, and
yeah,
I
but
think was
for Pete's
active.
sakes, the water boy averaged more than him.
Yeah, let Stephen A. Smith tell if it wasn't for his knee going bad, he was headed to something real big.
Right. Uh-huh. To 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 take the water boy place on the team. Yeah, you're right. He was going big places.
Well, at least he had a backup plan, so we can give Stephen A. Smith some credit for that. At least he had a backup plan, so he was smart enough to have a backup.
If it wasn't for dang, I can't think of the man who died. If it wasn't for him, Stephen A. wouldn't be at the spot where he at. The one who died because of cancer. God
You
dang
talking
it.
about Stuart Scott?
Yeah, Scott. Mr. Scott. Yeah, yeah.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
And like that's some of the problem I have with ESPN. Like for a lot of the analysts that are there now, they do not keep like I'm not gonna say keep bringing up. They do not like to acknowledge like the ones who actually paid like actually paved that way.
Do you remember the debate duel of two live stews who was there before Stephen A. Smith as well? When Skip Bayless was doing the program called Cold Pizza, and you had a
Yeah,
segment on there where these two black brothers used to be on there. One played with the Detroit Pistons, um, Ryan Stewart, and then he had his brother who didn't play professional sports but debated a lot, and it was
yeah.
called the Two Live Stews.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I always wondered whatever happened to them dudes because Stephen A. Smith took over from them, and then I guess Stephen A. Smith was good enough that Skip Bayless didn't renew the contract for the Two Live Stews to come on Cold Pizza to do the debate.
I don't know whatever happened to them. I know they was going very strong at one time, like very
Yeah,
very
it was
strong
pretty
at one
strong at
time.
one point. Yeah, exactly. Two Live Stews. Then all of a sudden, I don't know, they had their own radio show and everything. And they just faded off into the sunset.
I
Ryan was always the hothead, while his other brother was a chill one. It was just a funny combination.
and then they had the guy from the that mainly the one of the pioneers for ESPN, who mainly cover football. They used to have him do a lot of the sound effects and everything for basketball. Still,
Do the sound effects.
yeah, Mr. Rumbling and bumbling, tumbling
Oh,
down
you
the
talking about
field.
Chris Berman? Chris Berman.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I remember them sound effects. It's almost
But,
like they
but, but,
used
but,
to
but,
hit
but,
a
but, but, but
button.
back it is gone.
Yeah, it's almost like they used to hit a button to have him hit on that sound effect.
Yeah, that was Chris Berman right there. Yeah, and then he was on the NFL show. He was a Swami.
Right.
That used to have me laughing. The Swami, because if you follow the Swami, you're gonna be out in the streets. Because the Swami gonna give you nothing but bad picks.
Yeah, but they even used to bring him back for the NBA draft for doing the Swami for from time to time.
Uh huh. Yeah, yeah. People used to follow the Swami for his picks. All you gotta do is pick opposite. You'll kill the bookie. Do not pick what Swami tell you to pick. Cause
Especially when it
he have
basketball.
you broke, butt naked, and out of doors.
Yeah,
We used
that's
to
another
actually
one.
watch because we had like a team that we used to put together to bet parlays.
Mm,
Each of us, because we said it was four of us, right?
okay.
And instead of one person trying to play a 14 parlay and messing up his money or losing, because it's hard to hit a 14 parlay, we would try to get four of the best betters, wagers, and each of us pick one team. Pick your best team. Like whatever you play on your own, you play that on your own. But out of all the teams you pick one, and then the next person do the same. The next person do the same. So now you have four blazing picks from four different betting minds.
Mm,
And man, we should clean up. So sometimes that would be my only winning ticket for that week is when I put in the betting pool with the four masterminds of betting. And that would be my only winning ticket. The tickets I play on my own, I probably wouldn't even win. But it seemed
yes,
like that
indeed.
that yeah, that one ticket that we all bet on because we all put our heavy hitter in there. Because like when you do waging, right? At least this was my formula. I try to find the best team possible. Don't matter if it's college, baseball, NFL, or whatever. Or when basketball was merged in there, basketball doesn't even matter. College basketball doesn't even matter, right?
Mm,
College football doesn't matter. I try to find that one jewel that I say, if somebody told me to put my mortgage for the month or for the year, what team would that be? And then I take that team and I separate it and then start putting parlays around it. Various parlays. Sometimes cross sports parlay like football with a baseball or uh, uh,
yeah,
NFL
but you
with a
speaking Chinese to me right now because I don't know nothing about that.
yeah, but I'm
I
yeah the
do.
stream. I'm just talking to the stream too.
Oh, okay.
And so I would go cross sports lines, and sometimes I might hit a parlay or whatever. Sometimes I don't. But that one jewel that I have as my best pick, I would submit that to the group of four. And like I said, sometimes that'll be my only winner for that day, and it will barely cover my losses. But I didn't lose that day. I still had gains, but it was a minimal gain. But it still was a gain. And gambling still won't gains over losses any day. And so that was a unique formula that we used to do. And sometimes you make good money. Now, if I hit a parlay or any other type of single bet with my four masterminds, then that'd be a good week for me. That'd be a really good week for me. So that's how we used to do some of those at times, and that was a good formula. But now, a lot of us we done got older, and some don't even participate in that type of lifestyle anymore. And you know what I'm saying, because they got better ways to spend their money because they have an extended family and things of that nature. So we don't even do that anymore. But I think that would be very fascinating if I could ever be a part of a group like that again, because I was a winning group. When you have all those masterminds together to pick their best team, and this was a rule: if two people pick the same team, then instead of being a 14 parlay, it'll drop to a 2 team parlay. If three people pick the same team, instead of it being a 14 parlay, it'll be a 2 team parlay. That's how we do. We don't go try to pick another team because somebody else picked the same team that we picked. That just means that that's probably a really good team, and maybe everybody needs to put that team in some solo parlays or some other bets outside of the four masterminds. And that was a good thing we should do. And we and we
Yeah.
and we are submitted with one name. We're submitted with one name, and then a lot of times we will change the name. Like sometimes to be within my name, I go submit the ticket. Sometimes my other boy Matt, Kev will submit the ticket. Sometimes it's different people will submit the ticket. You know what I'm saying? Just to throw the bookies off, and the sport
Yeah, I
bets
dig it.
off.
I dig it. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know. I guess when I used to track it down, I bet it in high school. That wasn't like what you talking about. I just used to track it so hard to where I could tell you who was gonna have a good night, especially on the back to back, or if they had rest, what type of game they was gonna have. But that I don't track it that hard no
Yeah, we should put all that in consideration when we made our bets. Like say for instance, this was another thing we should do. Now it's kind of common knowledge, but back in the day, because you have a wealth of information now to draw from. But back in the day, what we used to draw from was from the newspaper. Most of our information came from the newspaper because we didn't have all the Google and the internet. And I know it's hard to fathom to live life without internet. But yeah, before 2000, there was no internet, not no public internet. I mean, internet was there for the military and things of that, and other secret societies and stuff like that. But it was no for the general masses, for the public. So most of our information came off of newspaper
more.
and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
that was the only reason why I used to buy the USA Today, just so I
Yep,
could track
exactly.
sports.
Yep, that's where you get the USA Today. What was those? They had magazines too, though. You remember those magazines? Not like
Yeah, but the
Sports Center.
magazine,
I mean, not like
yeah,
Sports Illustrated, but they had other little magazines that was gave you good details about college, NFL, and other sports. I forgot the name of that damn magazine, man, because I used to subscribe to it.
yeah, but the USA Today was that joint when you really
Yeah, that was
wanted
that joint.
stats,
I agree. Yep,
when you
yep,
wanted
that's right.
stats to literally know, man.
Yep. For fantasy football, all that. We used to play all that. I don't even play fantasy football no more. Yeah,
My
we should
partner
do.
does with college. He still follow college hard.
Uh huh. Damn, you
I,
don't
I
remember the name of those magazines back then?
because they had so many, but remember, I'm third coast and you west coast, so a lot of them may have been similar, but
I think one of them was called Pro something. It was
I
called
mean,
Pro something.
it but no, that okay. That's the company that literally had all three of them though. They had baseball, they had
Right.
college, and they
Yeah.
had no, I'm sorry, all five. But they but it but they but it was called something else here. But that was the parent company. But it was
Oh,
called
okay.
something else here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
'Cause
But
that,
that's a
that,
trip
that,
how you gather information. You know what I'm saying? And
oh
you just
yeah,
gotta.
I mean, it used to be hard and tough like a mug, to be honest. Because you literally had to go here and read something, go there and read something, then compare the two. I mean, hell, if you honestly remember, that's when we used to actually make copies of the sheet just so we wouldn't have to either borrow the magazine from our partner or whatever. We'd just make a
Mm-hmm.
copy.
Yep. Just make a copy. Yeah. Yeah. That used to be crazy. Gathering information. We was gathering that intel. We was CIA, FBI agents. You know what I'm saying? That shit was
Hmm.
crazy getting that information, and that information was king too, because you would try to find some nooks and crannies from some magazine that you can use towards your advantage. That you have found some information that maybe none of the homies even got, so you can
Yep.
pick up some kind of unfound player in your fantasy league that will pop off. That was crazy how we used to gather that intel. And oh yeah,
Days of the
what I was going to say before I lost my train of thought is that so what we used to do as part of our research, right? Now in
mhm.
college, we used to always look at senior day. You know, what team has the most seniors, so that team is going to play harder than the team that got a bunch of juniors and sophomores. You know, playing. Or we should look at senior night. We should look at who's what game they got prior to senior night, because you know they're not going to play that hard because they want to save all of their juice for senior night. And sometimes the game before senior night could be a trap game. In those trap
Okay.
games, we always try to bet the opposite. They might still win. Say, for instance, it's Notre Dame versus West Virginia, right? But
Mhm.
on senior night, Notre Dame is playing Air Force. So we know Notre Dame is going to give everything they got for senior night at the Golden Dome versus Air Force. Then on the road down there in what's that, Morgantown in West Virginia,
Right.
playing West Virginia. So West Virginia might, get a little something on Notre Dame. Might not win the game, but they keep it within that number, that that points, that point spread. And those are sometimes are the keys too on scheduling. So you have to pay attention to the scheduling. You have to pay attention to the condition of the field, because like a lot of times they'll talk about, like you said, they will talk about if it rained that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or if it's still mushy. You know, you have to pay attention to all that, because Notre Dame is a faster team than West Virginia, but when you get down in mushy terrain, then West Virginia has an advantage. And
Yeah,
then Notre
big
Dame want to just
advantage.
get out of there. Yeah, Notre Dame just want to get out of there whole. They don't want to risk injury and all that type of stuff. So they might not go all out. They might not go deep in their playbook. They might, just do a lot of shadow boxing because they know they're better than West Virginia. So
Penn,
if they can
Penn
get out
State
with
was
a,
another one.
yeah, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, who they what those teams play. Most time they have a bye, right? When they play those high profile games, college will have a bye, so both teams will be fairly healthy. They'll be rested, and so they can give all they got. But every now and then in the season, they have a tune-up game before they play that big game in Ohio State or up in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And sometimes you can sneak in a little something something on that game they playing prior to that, because Ohio State or Michigan, whoever is playing that game, is not going to give it their all. because they want to be fully healthy. Them kids want to be healthy when they play Michigan because that's going to be a nationally televised game where if they play Appalachian State, that game ain't going to be nationally televised.
Right.
And so you can put a little something on Appalachian State though that they might cover the spread. And lo and behold, a lot of times that happens. So yeah, we should do a lot of intel on that type of stuff right there too, man. That should be really really crazy.
Yeah, but that information wars used to be amazing at that time. I can't even lie.
Now what you can do, you just can Google everything. You know what I'm saying? Just Google this, Google that, or put something in the search engine, and it'll give you 4, 5, 6 options of information that you can draw from.
Yep, that is true.
And you can go on there. But some of them websites be deliberately giving false information because they're subsidized by the sport books in Vegas. So they break down something, but they give you so much bad information, and you thinking you're getting some really good information, and then all along they deceiving you to go one direction, and then Vegas is taking all your money, or the sports books is taking all your money because you're going by this column, this writer's writing, and he putting such juicy information in there and conning you basically into believing what he's writing will lead you to winning wagers. And you be
I can
like,
see that.
man, I'm not gonna ever follow this dude again. This dude made me lose $500, with this bull crap. Talking about he got an inside plug and he can't give no names anonymously, but the left tackle has a sore calf muscle, but they're not reporting it because they want him to play because you know what I'm saying. It's a special night. They be putting all kind of little stuff in there that they trying to make you feel like you getting a gym. And you thinking you got some inside information, or the quarterback, had a big fallout with his girlfriend, and he's a little distraught, and the coaches are kind of shaky on playing him, so they listen to him as questionable with a hamstring, but really it's not the hamstring, it's him and his girlfriend is breaking up,
I
stuff
know.
like that.
I know. I didn't trust nothing they put out about Derek Thomas
Derek
with the
Thomas, you talking
Chief,
about the football player?
with the
Yeah,
Chief.
yeah, the
Yeah, with the
linebacker.
Chief.
Yeah,
And
DT.
I ain't gonna lie. I did bet, and the only reason why I remember this bet, that was the one and only time I bet against that man. Well, I can't remember what I read um at this point. I cannot, but I do remember it was something that DT was not gonna have a good game because of blah 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 blah. I bet it against that man. I honestly did. Man, that man turned around and had a mega game. I'm like, man, hold on, let me research this dude. So then I started researching him, and I was like, man, I should have never believed that article. Not after getting all this information on him, I should have never believed that article.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes them articles be misleading you on purpose, man. So sometimes you just gotta be careful. But then again, you really don't know, no, because like I said, you trying to get an edge, so your mind is already set to get an edge over the point makers, point spreaders who makes those decisions to put the line out at a certain you know, wager gap or whatever. And then you get caught up trying to, you know, catch an edge. And they know that. That's why they do that. They put that misinformation out there, hoping that you grab onto it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because their job is to make you lose, not win. Vegas. I'm talking about Vegas.
Yeah, I dig it. It's just all up. I just remember that was the one and only time I bet it against that man. And I never did it again after that.
I never really,
And we bet it for 5 Snicker bars. I still remember that bet. 5 Snicker bars.
and they got you, huh?
Yeah, they got me. And that's the only reason why I really remember it. It was 5 Snicker bars. And I'm not talking about the small joint. I'm not talking about the small joint. I'm talking about that big one. I used to go to school and sell snacks. So when he got me for them 5, oh, I was mad.
Yeah. Well, Jim and I think I'm going to go ahead and sign out for tonight. If you want to keep on rapping, you can go ahead.
Nah,
If
what
not,
flight at?
Flight is he's around somewhere. Keep calling his name. He'll hear you. Yo, Flight.
Yeah, we can go ahead and
Yeah, we're gonna pull back up tomorrow.
alright.
Shout out Gemini. Salute all access. We got a lot of things to talk about tomorrow's flight.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.